morning. Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention, please? The opening ceremony of ICISETIM 2022 is about to begin. So for this reason, we would like to inform for all online participants to activate the camera on their respective Zoom applications. Before we start the program, we would like to inform you about the general rules during the conference. First, please ensure your computer sound or volume control is at an appropriate level because you may not hear the conference if it is disabled or turned down. And then use a headset or earbud if available to reduce the external noise. Identify your Zoom account with your actual name. Stay seated and stay present. Do dress appropriately and be aware of your surroundings. Do not interrupt other speakers and do not make any distracting sound or movement. And then please kindly fill the attendance form as can be seen in the screen. And then the committee also will type it in the Zoom chat box. Okay, and then of course, last but not least, please do respect, because the key to a successful virtual conference is to remember that you are in a meeting. So please kindly give your full attention to the participants as you would if you were in the same room. And then try not to eat or drink so that you can be prepared to be actively involved in the sessions. Okay, once again, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It is being a great honor for us on behalf of the International Conference on Industrial and System Engineering, Technology, Innovation and Management, or ICISETIM. My name is Santi Rahmawati to be standing here as a master ceremony in this international conference. And welcome to each and every one of you for being here with us today. Okay, before we are going to the main program, let me read out the structure of our agenda or the conference program. And also to all the participants that all of you already get this conference program through the link that the committee sent in your registered email. So after this welcoming, so we will have the doa recitations, following with the listening to the national anthem of Indonesia. And after that, we will have the welcome remarks, the opening speech and keynote speaker sessions. And then after the break, we will have the online parallel presentation session at the afternoon. And at last, we will have the closing ceremony of the ICISETIM Day 1, including awarding session for Day 1, best presentation, and also session chair recognitions. And so also, we would like to encourage all the participants to give their best effort in delivering their research. Okay, Excellency, distinguished guests, delegates, ladies and gentlemen, to start our agenda, let us hear the doa recitation that will be delivered by Miss Florence Leonie ST MSc. So in this occasion, we would like to welcome Miss Florence Leonie ST MSc. Miss Florence, the committee can give the access to Miss Florence. Okay, Miss Florence.
Yeah. Okay, thank you. Dear colleagues, before we start our conference, let's ask for God's blessing for us to go through the entire scheduled event. Heavenly Father, we praise you for this event and your purpose for it. We know that when we gather together, you always have a divine agenda. We love you for that, Father, that even when we have done what you have asked, the results are so much greater than we ever could have imagined. Even in failed attempts, you blow us away with your faithfulness to provide what we need. Our prayer today is that your will be done through this event. Take what we have prepared and multiply our efforts as only you can. Steer our intentions to align with your righteous will. Remind us of your faithful provision when our efforts fail us or fall short. May all glory go up to you when we reach the finish line and climb over benchmarks. Blanket us with your peace today, Father. Keep us physically safe and guard our hearts and minds from pride and selfishness. Keep love at the forefront of our minds today and guiding light for all we set out to accomplish and celebrate. In Jesus' name we pray, amen.
Okay, thank you so much, Miss Florence Leonie, SDMSC. Hope that our ICISETIM 2022 will be a successful event. Thank you so much. Okay, so now we would like to listen the national anthem of Indonesia. So for online participants, please kindly sit up straight and then to show the respect to the nations. Okay, the committee. Thank you for the attention, and then please kindly remain seated for the next agenda. It is an honor to me to inform you that among us here, we have His Excellency, Rector of Universitas Kristen Maranatha, Indonesia, Profesor Insinyur Sri Widiantoro, MSc, PhD, IPU, His Excellency, Dean of Faculty of Engineering, Universitas Kristen Maranatha, Indonesia, Dr. Yosafat Aji Pranata, STMT, Her Excellency, Head of Bachelor Program in Industrial Engineering, Universitas Kristen Maranatha, Indonesia, Miss Christina STMT, His Excellency, the Conference Chair of ICISETIM 2022, Mr. David Triliputra, STMT, Her Excellency, Co-Conference Chair of ICISETIM and also Founder and Chairperson of Research Synergy Foundation, Dr. Hendrati Dwi Mulyaningsi, SAMM, His Excellency, a keynote speaker from National University of Singapore, Professor Chu Ekpang, Her Excellency, a keynote speaker from De La Salle University of Philippines, Professor Rosemary Arceva, Her Excellency, a keynote speaker from Universitas Kristen Maranatha, Indonesia, Dr. Christina Wirawan, Your Excellency, all session chairs from Indonesia, Malaysia, Philippines, Dubai, United Arab Emirates, Taiwan, and India. Excellency, distinguished guests, delegates, faculty members, all participants of ICISETIM 2022, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, good morning and welcome to the International Conference on Industrial and System Engineering, Technology Innovation and Management, or ICISETIM, which is organized by Universitas Kristen Maranatha or Maranatha Christian University, in partnership with a Research Synergy Foundation, co-hosted by Chung Yuan Christian University Taiwan, De La Salle University Philippines, and Universitas Kristen Petra Indonesia. Supported by Scholar Vein, Research Synergy Institute, Reviewer Track, Research Synergy Press, F1000 Research, and Taylor and Francis Group. The conference theme is innovative contribution towards sustainability to encounter the impact of COVID-19 pandemic. So this international conference will take place over 2 days, starting today, Friday, 22nd of April, until tomorrow, Saturday, 23rd of April, 2022. ICISETIM 2022 is an international conference devoted to various spectrum of industrial and system engineering, also technology, innovation, and management, to have the oral presentations in this academic virtual conference. We are welcoming all the participants coming from various country and background to have discussions and also networking on this conference. Next, ICISETIM 2022 is also supported by the session chairs, keynote speakers, and also moderators from several well-known and recognized higher education institutions in Indonesia, Singapore, Taiwan, Philippines, Malaysia, Dubai, United Arab Emirates, and India. We welcome all the strategic partners and members from the RSF Global Research Ecosystem to the ICISETIM. We believe that this collaboration can bring mutual benefits to all the stakeholders involved. We also welcome all the participants, scholars, researchers, and also practitioners coming from various countries in the International Conference on Industrial and System Engineering, Technology, Innovation, and Management, such as from Indonesia, Philippines, Morocco, Singapore, Pakistan, Nigeria, Oman, United Arab Emirates, Bangladesh, India, Taiwan, Malaysia, and Germany. We believe that at the ICISETIM 2022, you will gain a lot of insight through the knowledge obtained from the interdisciplinary field of study, and this will lead to a fruitful future collaboration and research opportunities. And next, regarding the material of the conference, the virtual background, the conference program, and also the abstract book can be accessed at this link, as can be seen in the screen. And then meanwhile, the conference paper proceeding can be accessed at the link that you can see in the screen also. So there are 2 conference paper proceeding for the track under the managements, for the technology, innovation management, entrepreneurship, sustainability studies, supply chain management, and management science, and also the conference paper proceeding for the engineering track for the big data, industrial design, IT, ergonomic, operation research, and ERP. And next, for the question and answer and also the certificates, the question and answer can only be asked via Zoom chat room. And then the moderator or the session chair will manage as per the time available. So later on, please kindly write your questions and also the name of the presenter that should answer it. Because the e-certificate will be provided to your registered email after the sessions finish for all the participants who complete and also actively involved in presenting the paper or asking the question or give feedback in the session through the Zoom chat box or through the Google form that the committee will send later on. So once again, we would like to remind to all participants, please kindly fill the attendance form that already sent through the chat box. And then for the video and audio, to all the participants are required to mute their audio, and the host has every right to mute any participant's audio and remove who are deemed disruptive without warning. Without further ado, moving on for the next agenda, we would like to invite Mr. David Triliputra, STMT, as the conference chair of the ICISETIM 2022 to give the welcome remarks. So before that, allow me to read his profile first. Mr. David Triliputra is a faculty member of a bachelor program in industrial engineering, Universitas Kristen Maranatha, Indonesia. Currently, he also serves as the head of the Facility Layout Design Laboratory, and he earned his bachelor degree in industrial engineering 2009 from Universitas Kristen Maranatha and master degree in Industrial Engineering and Management at 2013 from Institut Teknologi Bandung, Indonesia. In 2015, he received the Best Paper Award at the 16th Asia Pacific Industrial Engineering and Management System, or APIEMS conference at Ho Chi Minh, Vietnam. In 2018, he was certified as a professional in international supply chain by PASAA Singapore. And then since 2016, he is a member of the Indonesian Supply Chain and Logistic Institution, or ISLI. His research interests are in the field of supply chain management and simulations. Okay, so in this morning, we would like to welcome Mr. David Triliputra, STMT. Please welcome Mr. David.
Thank you, Ms. Santi. Good morning, everyone, ladies and gentlemen, distinguished participants. As the conference chair, on behalf of the organizing committee, we would like to welcome you to the International Conference on Industrial and System Engineering, Technology, Innovation, and Management, or in short, ICISETIM 2022 Day 1. In this occasion, we would like to express our sincere gratitude to Professor Sri Widiantoro as Rector of Universitas Kristen Maranatha, Dr. Yosafat Aji Pranata as Dean of Faculty of Engineering, Universitas Kristen Maranatha, Ms. Christina STMT as the Head of Bachelor Program in Industrial Engineering, Universitas Kristen Maranatha, Dr. Hendrati Dwi Mulyaningsi as the Co-Conference Chair of ICISETIM 2022, and also the founder and chairperson of Research Synergy Foundation. And all of the keynote speakers in this event, Your Honorable Professor Chu Ep Peng from National University of Singapore, Your Honorable Professor Rosemary Arseva from De La Salle University, Philippines, Your Honorable Dr. Christina Wirawan from Universitas Kristen Maranatha, Indonesia, and all of the moderators and session chairs from various countries, Dr. Indah Victoria Sandroto from Universitas Kristen Maranatha, Indonesia, Ms. Rainisa Maini Herianto STMT from Universitas Kristen Maranatha, Indonesia, Dr. Miriam F. Bongo from De La Salle University, Philippines, Dr. Eng Siu Im from University Putra, Malaysia, Professor Daniel Merko Stephen Kleber from Module University, Dubai, Dr. Rita E. Deloy from Asian Institute of Maritime Studies, Philippines, Dr. Oi Siyin from Multimedia University, Malaysia, Dr. Pei Jiawang from Chung Christian University, Taiwan, Dr. Igede Agus Widyadana from Universitas Kristen Petra, Indonesia, Dr. Resma VK from Hindustan College of Engineering and Technology, India, Professor Zachariah Zon A. Belmonte from Technological University of the Philippines, Engineer Christopher C. Mira from Polytechnic, Dr. Lina Anatan from Universitas Kristen Maranatha, Indonesia, and Dr. Enemy R. Silencio from Asian Institute of Maritime Studies, Philippines. We would like to express our appreciation to all the scientific reviewers for their contribution to this event. Virtually on 22nd to 23rd of April 2022, is jointly organized by Universitas Kristen Maranatha, Indonesia, and Research Synergy Foundation, supported by the co-hosts from Chung Christian University, Taiwan, Salle University, Philippines, and Universitas Kristen Petra, Indonesia. ICISETIM 2022 has the theme Innovative Contribution Towards Sustainability to encounter the impacts of the COVID-19 pandemic. Therefore, this conference aims to provide a global forum to share ideas, knowledge, and experiences in the fields of industrial and system engineering, technology, innovation, and management, especially to overcome the challenges faced as a result of COVID-19 pandemic. To conclude, we sincerely hope that this two-day conference will create research ecosystem for a better future for our world. Have a nice day and enjoy the conference.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. David Triliputra. as the conference chair of the ICISETIM 2022. So as the recognition and also the appreciation from the organizing committee, we would like to give a token appreciations to the conference chairs. So in this occasion, we would like to invite Dr. Hendrati Dwi Mulyaningsih as the co-conference chair of the ICISETIM and also the founder and chairperson of Research Synergy Foundation to give a token of appreciations to Mr. David Triliputra STMT. Please welcome Dr. Hendra.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Santi, for the opportunity and the time. Okay, on behalf of Research Synergy Foundations, as also the host of this conference, I would like to say thank you for your great collaboration and your great teamwork to support this conference. And then we do hope that this conference could have a lot of benefit to all of the participants and attendees today. Thank you so much, Pak David.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Hendratri, as the co-conference chair of ICISETIM 2020. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much once again, Mr. David Triliputra and also Dr. Hendrati. Okay, so hopefully that the conference today for 2 days, starting today and also tomorrow, can run successful, and then hope that we will continue our mutual partnership and collaborations ahead. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, to continue our event, it is with a great honor we would like to welcome the Rector of Universitas Kristen Maranatha Indonesia, Professor Insinyur Sri Widiantoro, MSc PhD IPU, to deliver his opening and officiating speech. Okay. Before that, I would like to read his profile. Professor Insinyur Sri Widiantoro, MSc PhD, is a professor of geophysics, and currently he serves as a rector of Universitas Kristen Maranatha Indonesia. He received his BSc or Bachelor of Science degree in geophysics from Institut Teknologi Bandung, Indonesia, and also Master of Science degree in geophysics from Kyoto University, Japan, and PhD degree in geophysics from Australian National University, Australia. And moreover, he also studied postdoc in seismology at the Tokyo University, Japan, and his research interests are in the field of geophysics and seismology. And he has many articles published in the reputable journals such as Science and Nature, which has been cited as many as 4,567 with an H index of 24 on the Scopus index. Okay, in this occasion, we would like to welcome Professor Insinyur Sri Widiantoro. Okay, Professor Insinyur Sri Widiantoro. Hello, Prof.
Yes, thank you, Santi. Distinguished keynote speakers, Professor Chu Ekkem, Professor Rosemary R. Siva, and Dr. Christina Wirawan, as well as participants in this international conference at the Maranatha Christian University. A very good morning and best wishes to you all. Greetings and a warm welcome to Maranatha Christian University, Bandung, Indonesia. I am very delighted to be here with you today for the opening of the International Conference on Industrial and System Engineering, Technology, Innovation, and Management, held by the Faculty of Engineering, Maranatha Christian University. Our university fosters an innovative educational system to build technopreneurship or socio-technopreneurship within the 3 pillars of higher education, namely teaching, research, and community services. Maranatha aims to develop creative-based entrepreneurs who are caring, cooperative, and collaborative, as well as possessing excellent soft skills those who can contribute their creativity and innovative skills to advance the nation. In line with our educational aims, this conference encourages participants to creatively address new ways of living in this modern era, using virtual and digital platforms to disseminate their ideas. Committee members for this conference have come together from several universities. In light of that, I would like to congratulate the committee on their successful collaboration. I'm certain that this event will be of great benefit for all those participating. A very big thank you to all the committee members, participants, and the audience for joining this event. I hope you all enjoyed this conference. God bless. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Professor Insinyur Sri Widiantoro as the Rector of the Universitas Kristen Maranatha for the opening and also officiating speech. And it is truly an honor to have your grace and to officiate our ICISETIM 2022, Prof. Okay, so as the recognitions and appreciations from the organizing committee, we would like to give the token of appreciations to our opening speakers. And in this occasion, we would like to welcome Miss Christina, STMT, as the head of the Bachelor program in Industrial Engineering, Maranatha Christian University, to give a token of the appreciations to Professor Insinyur Sri Widiantoro, MSc PhD IPU, as the opening speaker of the ICISETIM 2022. Please welcome Miss Christina.
Yeah, thanks, and thank you also, Professor Sri, for the opening speech and also for the support to our international. Thank you so much.
Thank you once again, Professor Insinyur Sri Widiantoro and also Miss Christina. Okay, we would like to continue our agenda. So moving on to the next agenda, we would like to invite Dr. Yosafat Aji Pranata, STMT, as the Dean of the Faculty of Engineering, Universitas Kristen Maranatha, Indonesia, to give the speech. So before that, allow me to read the profile first. So Dr. Yosafat Aji Pranata has the Bachelor of Civil Engineering at Universitas Atmajaya, Yogyakarta, Indonesia, and also Master of Civil Engineering at Parahyangan Catholic University, Indonesia, and Doctor of Civil Engineering at Parahyangan Catholic University, Indonesia. And his research interests are earthquake engineering, timber engineering, orthotropic material, and non-linear finite element analysis. And he also a scientific advisor at the Directorate General of Human Settlements, Ministry of Public Works Indonesia, and also member of Indonesian Wood Research Society, Indonesian Society of Civil and Structural Engineers, and the Institution of Engineers Indonesia. And the publications are several publications are Annual Convention Society of Wood Science and Technology at 2011, Wood Conference on Timber Engineering at 2012, and Journal of Engineering and Technological Science at 2013. And also he wrote a book chapters such as Lecture Notes in Civil Engineering, published by Springer in 2018, and then Book of Struktur Kayu, that 2019, and then the last book chapter is the Lecture Notes in Civil Engineering, published by Springer 2022. So in this occasion, we would like to welcome Dr. Yosafat Aji Pranata, STMT, to deliver the speech. Please welcome Dr. Yosafat.
Thank you for the time. Is anything problem with my sound?
No, the sound is clear, Pak.
Okay, thank you, Santi. To our rector, Professor Stividiantoro, Professor Chung, Professor Rosemary, Assistant Professor Christina Wirawan, our keynote speakers today and tomorrow. Miss Christina as a head of Bachelor program in Industrial Engineering, Mr. David and Dr. Hindrati, Conference Chair and Co-Chair, our committee partners from Salle University, Universitas Kristen Petra, and Chung Yuan Christian University, all of presenters, all of participants, ladies and gentlemen, good morning from Bandung, greetings. On behalf of Faculty of Engineering, I would like to express my sincere gratitude and welcome you to our first Industrial Engineering International Conference and also our first Faculty of Engineering International Conference. I hope that as a researcher and expert in the field of industrial engineering, we can continue to produce research output that benefit for humanity. Research output that can provide solutions to overcome some of issues due to COVID-19. For example, system supply chain sustainability, infrastructure development, and other issues. I wish you a very productive conference with exciting discussion and exchange of technology and knowledge, so that together we can anticipate a future of research and technology for humanities. On behalf of Faculty of Engineering, we would like to thank the organizing committee, reviewers, and also to moderators. Once again, welcome to our first international conference on industrial and system engineering, technology, innovation, and management for all of presenters from Taiwan, Philippines, Thailand, India, Malaysia, United Arab Emirates, Germany, and of course from Indonesia. God bless, best regards, and thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Dr. Yosafat Aji Pranata. And as the recognitions and also the appreciations from the organizing committee, we would like to give a token of the appreciations to you as the speaker in today ICISETIM 2022. So in this occasion, we would like to welcome Miss Christina STMT as the head of Bachelor program in Industrial Engineering Maranatha Christian University to give a token of appreciations to Dr. Yosafat Aji Pranata. Please welcome Miss Christina.
Thank you, Miss Santi. Thank you, Miss Santi. And thank you also for the beautiful opening speech, Dr. Yosafat. And thank you also for the support to our international conference, sorry.
Okay, thank you so much once again, Dr. Yosafat Aji Pranata and also Miss Christina. Okay, so we would like to moving on to the next agenda. We would like to invite Miss Christina STMT as the head of Bachelor program in Industrial Engineering Maranatha Christian University to give the speech. So before that, allow me to read her profile first. Miss Christina is a faculty member of Bachelor program in Industrial Engineering, Faculty of Engineering, Universitas Kristen Maranatha, Indonesia. Currently, she is actively serving as a head of Bachelor program in Industrial Engineering, Universitas Kristen Maranatha for the period of 2020 until 2024. She studied Bachelor program in Industrial Engineering at Universitas Kristen Maranatha and earned master degree in Industrial Engineering and Management from Institut Teknologi Bandung, Indonesia. Her research interest is in the field of industrial management. Okay, once again, we would like to welcome Miss Christina STMT. Please welcome.
Thank you, Miss Santi. Yeah, good morning, ladies and gentlemen, warm greetings from Indonesia. And It is my honor for the fourth opening speech today in this important international conference. So I have to think twice, multiple times to make my opening speech a bit different compared to the other three. And I would like to thank all of the honorable speakers, keynote speakers, Professor Chu Ek Peng from the National University of Singapore, Professor Ros Arsa from the Salle University Philippines, and Dr. Christina Wirawan from Maranatha Christian University, and all of the moderators, session chairs, presenters, and participants that participate in this our first international conference on industrial. We can call it ICISETIM or ICISETIM, organized by the Bachelor program in Industrial Engineering Universitas Kristen Maranatha, Indonesia, and also with the collaboration with Research Synergy Foundation, RSF, and of the co-hosted by Chung Yuan Christian University, Taiwan, the Salle University, Philippines, and also Universitas Kristen Petra. Thank you for the co-host universities that have been participating to this conference. And I also would like to thank to our rector of Christian University and also the dean of the Faculty of Engineering, Universitas Kristen Maranatha, for all of the support for this conference. And I also would like to welcome to all of the participants here, if we could have future collaborations in the next future, so such as exchanging knowledge, research collaboration, and exchanging faculties and students, and etc. to develop like the academic insight of us. And I hope in this two-day international conference, all of us could have wider network to academic insight and friendship also, and could give and get the fruitful thing to and from others in any position that we are placed in this international conference. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you so much, Miss Christina, for the warm speech at the ICISETIM Day 1, and also as the recognitions and also the appreciations from the organizing committee. We would like to give a token of appreciations to the speakers. So in this occasion, we would like to welcome Mr. David Triliputra, STMT, as the conference chair of ICISETIM 2022, to give a token of appreciations to Miss Christina as the speaker today. Please welcome Mr. David.
Thank you, Ms. Santi. Thank you, Ms. Christina STMT, as the head of Bachelor program in Industrial Engineering, for your support to this conference. We really appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much once again, Miss Christina and also Mr. David Triliputra. Okay, let us move on to the next agenda is the Global Research Ecosystem Introduction by Dr. Hendrati Dwi Mulyaningsi as the founder and chairperson of Research Synergy Foundation, as well as the co-conference chair of the ICISETIM 2022. So before that, I would like to read her profile. Dr. Hendrati Dwi Mulyaningsi is the chairperson and also founder of Research Synergy Foundation that has shown a great commitment on creating global network and research ecosystem. So this GNR ecosystem has been developing since 2017 up to the present and having increasing number of the member up to more than 20,000 from all around the globe. And her passion in how to create impact and co-creation value among all the stakeholders of RSF has made her focus on upholding integrity in the scientific process through enhancement of RSF support system like Reviewer Track, Scholar Vein, Research Synergy Institute, and Research Synergy Press. Thus, her work in this area has made her as the nominee of Impactful Leadership Award from Thalberg Foundation, Sweden at 2019. And as a lecturer, she has been working in the university since 2008 and at present in Indonesia as the assistant professor, and she holds her doctoral science of management, graduated from School of Business and Management, Institute of Technology, Bandung. And she has strong interest to her research project as well as her research field in social entrepreneurship, social innovation, and knowledge management. And Dr. Hendrati also active as a researcher, and her work studies and also research on the area also made her be invited as the reviewer in many reputable Scopus and WOS indexed journals. And also she is actively involved as the keynote speakers in many international conferences in Philippines, Thailand, Malaysia, Indonesia, Australia, Japan, and US. And she also has shown her great passion on writing on her study into some book chapter, papers, and contemporary scientific article that has been published in a Springer, Emerald, Taylor, and Francis in many reputable international publishers. So the terrific association between her professional experience as a researcher, lecturer, the certified trainer, and coach, combined with her wider horizon on networking in the research area, made her establish the strong commitment on having global learning platforms to accelerate knowledge through many workshops and research coaching in Research Synergy Institute as one of the RSF support system. So in this occasion, we would like once again to welcome Dr. Hendrati Dwi Mulyaningsi.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Santi, for the brief introduction. Okay, actually, may I share my screen? Okay.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Okay, before I start my introduction regarding with Research Synergy Foundation, so I would like to say thanks on behalf of Research Synergy Foundation to University of Maranatha for having this great conference, and also it's already attending by more than 200. Actually, it's already attend from the attendee and also from the presenter is more than 270 participants from 13 countries, and also is already supported by more than 10 respected university as the session chair that already support in this conference. And also I would like to say thanks to all of the reviewer that already support this conference because we know that the scientific process is very important part of the scientific process. So I would like to say thank you to all the editorial board and also reviewer that has a really great work in supporting this conference. Okay, so in here, I would like to introduce regarding the Research Synergy Foundations because this conference is also one of our programs that we try to create the grand networking, and then we can embracing all of you here as a member of our research global ecosystem that already been created since 2017. So we are a digital social enterprise platform that we are focusing on how we can developing global research ecosystem, and then we try to help all of the scholars and also including the practitioners from all around the world. And then we also building a collaborative network. As like what we have now, we have many college from 11 university, respected university that become our session chair, that it also will involve as expert that can make kind of future programs that can be extended from this conference. Not only this conference, but maybe it could be more programs that can be built by university or among university or between university, for example, guest lecturer, mobility program, and etc. And then the reason why we are here is because we are social enterprise. We are coming from the challenge that we found from all around the world regarding with the publication in higher education, especially. So that's why we are creating 4 support system. For example, because in some event regarding with scientific process, a scientific forum, we found that there are less feedback that they got from the scientific forum as like conference and also a colloquium and etc. So this feedback is very important for the early career researcher and also for the researcher regarding with how they can enhance the quality of the publication. That's why we are creating a reviewer track because of that. And then there are also less of opportunity for the young scholars, early career researcher, and also some lecturers based on their KPI and etc. that having or giving a good conference with the international standard and also including with the a good scientific process and also the definite output of application. So because of that, we try to creating scholar vein that have many programs, including this conference. So, and then we also found that many universities in our partners, they found any struggling in how they can manage their international journal as their artifact to how they can be recognized in the this ecosystem, global research ecosystem. So we try to help and support all of that university partner in having a good reputable indexed journals. And then we also find that because our stakeholder is not only the author, but we are also having editors, publisher from the reputable publisher in the world, as like Salle and Francis, Emerald, and Springers. We found that they have any requirement that should be understood by all the authors that coming into our scientific process as a scientific forum as like this conference. And we found that there are still huge gaps. So that's why we are creating Research Synergy Institute to minimize that gap. So we try to invite all the scholars from all around the world, and then we invite the expert as like the editor from the Scopus Indexed Journal, from Emerald, from Taylor and Francis, and then they can share the knowledge and then giving the tips and strategy how to be eligible to be published there. So this is the way how we try to support it, all the members in research global research ecosystem of RSF. And this is our program's infographic last year's actually. Due to the pandemic situation, we have in these 2 years, 2020 and 2021, we have a virtual conference. Since we are only having virtual conference, but it is not make all the authors from all around the world and researcher less their spirit to having a good research and etc. So in that years, we have more than 20 international conference that already been conducted, and then it is already participated by more than 5,000 participants from more than 200 affiliation from university and also organization or association that coming from 28 countries. And then for our Research Synergy Press or our publisher, we have already published more than 300 articles that already published that already supported more than 1,000 author and co-author, and all of the paper that published here is free with the no for the APC is $0 to be published here, and mostly is already indexed in DOAG and Copernicus, and 4 of them is already it's already being submitted in Scopus this year. And then right now we have 21 international journals and then 3 conference proceedings based on the domain of the research field. And then this is our learning platform, Research Synergy Institute. Last year we already have 9 webinars and coaching clinics, and then we are invited 10 experts, including editors from the Scopus and Web of Science indexed journals, and then it is already being attended by more than 1,000 learners from more than 600 affiliations. So that's why in every year we have a lot of participants that already involved in our programs, and this is our ecosystem right now. So when the people asking me, where is the members coming from? So it comes from these programs that we are creating. We are created since 2017, and right now we have more than 20,000 members from all around the world that already being participated in all our programs that already created in by our support system. We have 4 support system here. Scholar Veins. The Scholar Vein is our integrated conference management operating system that support this conference also, and then it is already embedded with a reviewer track. So that's why this is the way how we upholding the integrity as a scientific forum. We should have this scientific process as well as the way how we contribute the body of knowledge of each of research interests. And then Research Synergy Press also involving editorial board, involving reviewer, involving authors, and etc. And then for the Research Synergy Institute, we are also involving a lot of experts regarding with how they can enhance the quality of publication, especially in research methodology and also regarding the updating research interest or updating, expanding theory, building, and etc. So this is the way how we try to giving the best support to all of the scholars in our global research ecosystem. So that's why I welcoming to all of you that already being participated in this conference as a members of this more than 20 global research ecosystem. Right now, maybe more than 25. Okay. And then because right now we have more than 20 conference also in this year, so it will be more to come. So we are also invite all of you to join our programs, mostly free regarding with conference and also webinars. And then please check it out in our Facebook and also in our website in our upcoming event. So you would like you will see you will know the updating information regarding with our programs, mostly free. No worries. Okay, this is our upcoming conference for this year's. And then this year's there are special for this year. Due to the pandemic situation, we don't have a conference that will be conducted in abroad as like in Turkey or etc. because mostly we are in virtual ones, and since 2017 and 2019 we have more than 100 conferences that already being conducted in more than 15 countries actually. So right now in this year we try to have a one conference that will be conducted in Turkey. So we are also invited all of you. We know that there are any interdiscipline here between industrial management, industrial industry with the social and management and business and economy. So we can you can join to our programs in September in Turkey. And then next year, inshallah, we will have more than 5 international conferences that will be conducted in European, especially in Spain and also in Slovenia, in Ljubljana, Slovenia, and then also in Bahrain, in Qatar, in Egypt, and also in New Zealand, and in Japan, and also in Korea, South Korea, Seoul. So it will be launched in this August. Okay, so this is the way how we try to support it all of the members, because there are many requests regarding with they are yeah they would like to go to some place that they can having conference, and also they can also having some kind of leisure things like going to some place. So we are combining this conference also, and we are invited all of you to join with us with the 10 days package tours, and we can go to more than 10 town, 10 cities in this Turkey. So it's really affordable, no worries, because Turkey is one of the places that giving a lot of offering regarding with how we can goes there with a cheaper price for accommodations, flight, and etc. And then this is our review track, and this is the process of the review that already being embedded in this scholar frames system. So this is the way how we try to upholding our integrity and giving the best support for all of the authors by giving the feedback. So this feedback, we do hope that every author that can enhance the quality of the publication based on the review from the author, the reviewers, and also we are also giving like plagiarism feedback and also language feedback. Okay, so this is our Research Synergy Institute, and this coming from the gap that we see where there is still huge gap based on our research because there are more than 4,000 papers that already being submitted in our system actually. So we found this one. Since the author have many good contents, very great research, but sometimes their research is not matched with the requirement of the editor. So that's why we try to invite the editor and giving like the tips and strategy how to be eligible to be published, because the author have the capacity, have a very good research, and then the editor have a requirement. So we try to adjust and match with the requirement. So this is the way how we try to help the author and also try to help the editor to have a good paper, and also for the author to publish in a good or reputable journal. So this is a mutual support and co-creation value that we created from this program. Okay, this is the example for our programs, and then it's mostly free. And every 3 months we will make it like this. So please check it out in our Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, website. So we will update it all of our information regarding with our programs. And then this is our Research Synergy Press, our publisher, and this is the roadmap strategy that we have. Since we have the support system, we have conference that attend by more than countries, and then diversity of the authors, diversity of the reviewer is already supported also this management of this international journal. So since we know that the requirement of indexer as like Scopus, Web of Science, mostly in how we can keeping the diversity and also the continuity each volume of our journal. So this is the way how we support all of our university members to keeping the diversity. Since the diversity is not easy to get, because when we call for paper for your journal, for example, sometimes we found that it's difficult to invite or to having like diversity of the author from many countries. But since we have many conference from and it will be conducted also in abroad, so I think it is easier for us to helping to support the international journal of many universities that already being supported by us. For example, this one, this is our own international journal and mostly free. This is the example. The TSDR is we are supporting this journal. It belongs to UNPAD, University of Pajajaran, and then ICISETIM, and IJRSE. It also belongs to University of Terbuka, and then IGEIIS and also IGEASS is or belongs to Unisba, and many universities that already being supported by Research Synergy Foundation through our support system. Okay, so since we have more than 170 conference since 2017, we have hundreds of proceeding also. This is our proceeding that already being published, and you could open it in our website in Research Synergy Press. And then we are also collaborate with publisher as like another publisher. So we have two kind of proceeding. It is published by our own publisher, and also we are collaborated with other publisher as like CRC Belkema, Routledge, and Cypress. And one of them is already being indexed in Scopus. And then this is our conference proceeding that in next 2 years will be submitted into Scopus. Why next 2-3 years? Because in Scopus there are many requirements. For example, if for the journal, it should be published 4 times before submitted into Scopus actually. So this is also one of the requirements. It takes 2 or 3 years for the conference proceeding. So we do hope that in the 2-3 years, this our international conference proceeding will be indexed in Scopus and Web of Science. We do hope that it will be smooth and easy. Okay, this is our call for paper. Regularly we announce to our social media, website, and etc. So we welcome to all of you, all of the authors, to join to submit your paper, and mostly free. Okay. This is our fifth support system actually, and this is affiliated with Taylor and Francis, since F1000 Research is already being owned by Taylor and Francis since 2020. So this open science platform is already being indexed in Scopus Q1, and we are as a advisory gateway officially has any what do you call it, privilege to promote multidiscipline articles. So that's why in our gateway, we promote social science, economic business management, humanity, engineering, and also medical studies. And then all of the paper that will be submitted into our gateway, it should be undergone of RSF publication preparation process, as like this conference. So this conference is already being processed in our scientific process. It's already being interviewed by us and ICISETIM. So everyone here have an equal opportunity to be published in this F1000 research. Okay, and then this in here, Ms. Santi as the founders of ICISETIM Foundation, me myself as the founders, and Ms. Ani as the founders, and also as the advisory gateway, we welcome you and we will advise you and supporting you regarding with how to be published here and how to be eligible to be published here. And then this is the process of all the publication in this research gateway or in this F1000 research gateway. And then right now we have more than 150 articles that are already being published here. Yeah, and then you can browse in our website for this F1000 research website gateway. And then every month, this is one of our all-out strategy to help the members, the author that already being submitted here or before they submitted here. We have editorial meeting with editorial of F1000 Research and Taylor and Francis. So every month we are like tracing and checking why this paper is not published yet or something like that. So this is the way how we are all out strategy supporting all the authors that already submitted into this gateway. So no worries to all of you. We will submit, we will advise and we will support it before and after submitting. And this is one of the proud achievements that we will announce to all of you that since we are already being invited as one of the official gateway of this F1000 research, and I would like to announce that we are the only one from ASEAN country, and then from the Asia country, only University of Tsukuba from Japan and also Research Synergy Foundation. There are only two from Asia actually. So we are one of it, and we are in one frame with the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundations, the European Commission, and ICISETIM. Most of them is very respected and reputable associations, research center from all around the world. And Alhamdulillah, RSF become a part of it. So thank you so much for all of your support. And this is also one of like a teamwork, teamwork from the authors, from members, and also from the editor, reviewer, that hand in hand to make RSF become this recognized by them, or this can achieve this achievement. And then inshallah in June we are also will have collaborations with Kogan journals from Taylor and Francis. There are 16 journals based on the domain of the research interest. For example, business and economics, and then engineering, Kogan journal. So in June, we will launch this international journal that mostly already indexed in Web of Science and also Scopus, and it will be officially affiliated with Research Synergy Foundations. And next year, inshallah, we will also affiliate with more than 160 open access journal in Taylor and Francis Open Access Journal. So the opportunity of the publication through this conference, through this coaching clinic of RSF will be wider. So we will become the official affiliate partner of research of Taylor and Francis. Okay, so this is our partner, official partner. They're already being signed an MOU and also having many programs with us, and it will be more to come because it's not updated yet. there are more than 20 universities that right now having a collaboration with us and being signed the MOU also here. And then this is one of the quotes that I would like to say to you, that this conference is also to supporting all of you to become a part of a global research ecosystem that already being stated by WUR, World University Ranks, that to make any higher, to achieve higher ranking through this continuous learning and also improvement. It could be through this scientific forum. So welcome to all of you, and then have a good day to all of the participants, and also for all and thank you so much for the support for all of the session chair and moderator, and also thank you so much for being with us, for all of the invited speaker and also the honorable keynote speaker. Thank you so much. Have a good day. God bless you.
Okay, thank you so much, Dr. Hendrati Dwi Mulyaningsi, for the very comprehensive and also encouragement, and also give the introductions of the global research ecosystem. We believe that this research ecosystem can support all of the participants in this ICISETIM 2022 to have more contributions on the academic community and also to the society. So we would like, in this occasion, we would like to welcome all the participants and also welcome to the global research ecosystems. Okay, and as the recognitions and also the appreciation from the organizing committee, we would like to give a token of appreciations to the co-conference chairs. In this occasion, we would like to welcome Miss Christina STMT as the head of Bachelor Program in Industrial Engineering, Maranatha Christian University, to give a token of appreciation to Dr. Hendrati Dwi Mulyaningsi as the co-conference chair of ICISETIM 2022, as well as the founder and chairperson of Research Synergy Foundation. Please welcome Miss Christina.
Yeah, thank you, Ms. Santi. And also thank you very much for our collaboration, Dr. Hendrati Dwi Mulyaningsi, and we hope that we can also have collaboration in the future. Thank you so much.
You're most welcome, Ms. Christina. Thank you so much for the collaboration and very great in working. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much once again, Miss Christina, and also Dr. Hendrati Dwi Mulyaningsi. Okay, so we would like to moving on to our next agenda is the appreciation moment of all the co-hosts of ICISETIM 2022. So in this occasion, once again, we would like to welcome Miss Christina STMT as the head of Bachelor Program in Industrial Engineering, Maranatha Christian University, to give a token of appreciations to the co-hosts. For the first is from Chung Yuan Christian University, Taiwan, that will be represented by Wei Zhongxiang, PhD. As the representative of the Chung Yuan University, okay, please.
Yeah, thank you so much, Professor Wei, for the collaboration as the co-host university international conference, and we hope to have another collaboration in the future with your university, with Chung University. Thank you so much.
Thank you for everyone. Thank you. Right. I hope this will be a very successful conference. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Wei Zhongxiang, PhD, as the representative of the Chung Yuan Christian University, Taiwan. And then next, the token of appreciations to the co-hosts from De La Salle University, Philippines, that will be represented by Giselle Joy C. Asmeria M. Engineering. So please welcome Miss Christina and also Giselle Joy, Miss Giselle Joyce. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you, Santi. Thank you so much, Dr. Giselle, for the collaboration with Bachelor program in Industrial Engineering. And we hope to have another collaboration in the future. Yeah, I think our university and the Salle University has been already like a sister universities, right? Yeah, thank you so much for the collaboration.
Thank you very much for this token of appreciation. It is actually an honor of our university to be part of this event. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Dr. Giselle. Yeah. Okay, and then continue to the next co-host for the ICISETIM 2022 is from Universitas Kristen Petra, Indonesia, that will be represented by Dr. Indriati Joto Bisono. Doctor? Okay.
Yeah. Hello, morning, Dr. Indri. Thank you very much for the collaboration with us in this international conference. And we hope also to have another collaboration in the future with your universities. Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you.
Okay, so once again, thank you, Miss Christina, and also Dr. Indri as the representative of the Universitas Kristen Petra, Indonesia. So that's for the appreciation moments. And now, before we are going to the next agenda of the International Conference on Industrial and System Engineering, Technology, Innovation, and Management, let us have an e-group virtual conference photo session first. Okay, so we would like to encourage all of the participants so to turn on, please kindly turn on your Zoom video or the camera in your device. Okay, I will give a few times for you to get ready. Okay, hold on. Okay, yes. Okay, so everyone, please kindly look at your device and then give us your best smile, yeah, of the first day of the ICISETIM 2022. I will start to count, everyone. Okay, 1, 2, 3, smile. Okay, lovely. And then we go to the next. Hold on, everyone. 1, 2, 3, smile. Okay, fantastic. Okay, and then to the next. Okay, smile. Okay, thank you. And then next window. Okay, thank you. Okay, we still have 2 more. Okay, great. Okay. Okay, and then the last one. Okay, the last one. Okay. Okay, great. So once again, thank you so much for all the smiles and also wonderful energy for today's conference, the first day of the ICISETIM 2022. So hope that the positive vibes can be spread to all the people around us. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, distinguished participants and attendees of ICISETIM, without further ado, it is time for the keynote speaker panel session in the first day. And today we have 2 keynote speakers. So first, already being with us, a keynote speaker from National University of Singapore, Professor Chu Ek Peng. Good morning, Professor.
Yeah, good morning.
Okay, great to see you, Prof. Okay. And then the second keynote speaker for today, is from De La Salle University of Philippines, Professor Rosemary Arzeva. Good morning, Prof. Rosemary.
Hello. Hello.
Hello.
Good morning, everyone from the Philippines.
Okay, great to see you, Prof. Okay, so allow me to continue a bit and introductions of your profile. So these plenary speaker sessions will be moderated by Dr. Indah Victoria Sandroto, STMT, from Universitas Kristen Maranatha. Good morning, Dr. Indah.
Good morning, Miss Santi.
Okay, nice to see you, Dr. Indah.
Yes.
Okay, so before the session begins, allow me to read the profile of the moderators and also the keynote speakers at once. Okay, for the first is the profile of our moderator today. Dr. Indah Victoria Sandroto is a lecturer in the Department of Industrial Engineering at Universitas Kristen Maranatha. She is currently serving as a secretary of the Internal Control Unit at Universitas Kristen Maranatha. She holds bachelor's, master's, and doctoral degrees from the Department of Industrial Engineering at Institut Teknologi Bandung. She also graduated with a postgraduate diploma in business administration in management from Massey University, New Zealand, and her research interests include customer relationship management, enterprise resource planning, corporate planning, and system thinking. And then continue to the profile of our keynote speakers. So first, we have Professor Chu Ek Peng. So Dr. Chu Ek Peng is a professor in the Department of Industrial System Engineering and Management at the National University of Singapore. He holds positions as the Deputy Head, Undergraduate Studies, Director for the Center of Excellence in Modeling and Simulation for Next Generation Ports, and Director for Center of Maritime Studies. His current research areas are in port logistics and maritime transportations and also simulations optimizations. His research work are found in journals such as Transportation Science, Transportation Research Part B, IISE Transactions, European Journal of Operational Research, and Naval Research Logistics. He is serving as an editor-in-chief of the Asia Pacific Journal of Operational Research, editorial board editor of the Transportation Research Part B, and editorial board of Flexible Services and Manufacturing Journal. And he has led a team of multidisciplinary researchers and practitioners to win the Next Generation Container Port Challenge with a grand prize of $1 million by proposing a revolutionary double-story container terminal called the SINGA port or Singapore. Okay, and then the profile of our keynote speaker, the next keynote speaker is Professor Rosemary Seva. So Rosemary Seva is a professor of industrial engineering and assistant dean for quality assurance at the Gokong Wei College of Engineering, De La Salle University, Philippines. She is the president of the Human Factors and Ergonomic Society of the Philippines, or HFESP, and from 2018 until 2020. Also served as the president of the Asian Council on Ergonomics and Design, or ACED, and the Southeast Asian Network of Ergonomic Societies, or SEA and ES. She also being heads the IEA Technical Committee on Effective Design and one of the early researchers in this field. And she obtained her doctorate degree at the Nanyang Technological University, Singapore. And also she is an ASEAN engineer and a professional industrial engineers. Really glad to have all of the keynote speakers and also the moderator for the first day of the ICISETIM 2022. Okay, from now on, to the moderator, Dr. Indah Victoria Sandroto. The time is yours to lead the plenary keynote speaker sessions. Please welcome Dr. Indah. Dr. Indah, please unmute first. Okay.
Yep. Thank you, Miss Santi, and thank you also for the nice introduction about me. Okay, I think all of us, we are very excited with this main session. We have two keynote speakers, as Miss Santi already mentioned, Professor Chu Ekping and Professor Rosemary Arsiva. And thank you, Miss Santi, that already read the profile of the two keynote speakers. Okay, let me mention some things for this session. Okay, my name is Indah Victoria Sandroto. I am from Maranatha Christian University, Indonesia. I am from the Bachelor program in Industrial Engineering. And I will be the moderator for this 2-hour keynote speaker session. This is from in Indonesia time, 9:25 to 11:25. And we have two distinguished speakers in this session, Professor Chu Ekping from National University of Singapore and Professor Rosemary Arsiva from the Salle University, Philippines. We are very grateful to have both of the speakers here with us this morning. And each speaker will have 40 minutes time for the presentation. And then we will continue with the discussion session or question and answer for 30 minutes. So for Professor Chu Ekping, the time will be from 9:35 to 10:15, 40 minutes. And then Professor Rosemary Arsiva will continue from 10:15 to 10:55 in Indonesia time. I think in Singapore and Philippine times, this one is, you are 1 hour ahead of us. Yeah. After the speakers present their papers, their presentation, we will have discussion, and discussion will be from 10:55 to 11:25 for 30 minutes. So please, to the speakers, Professor Chu Ekping and also Professor Rosemary Arsiva, please stay with us at least until 11:30 a.m. Indonesia time or 12:30 p.m. in Singapore and Philippine time. And for the audience, if you have questions for the presenters, please type the questions in the Zoom chat feature in the Zoom chat room, and also mention to whom the questions you refer to. And then later I will help convey the question to the presenter later on the discussion session. So we will finish the two presentations first. Is it also possible on the discussion session later if you can also raise your virtual hand and turn your microphone when I call on you to ask a question? Okay. For general comments and reflections on the presentations, also possible to type in the chat room. Okay, that's from me. And now let's please welcome our first honorable presenter, Professor Chu Ekping from National University of Singapore. Good morning, Mr. Professor Chu Ekping.
Yeah, okay, thank you very much. So let me first share my slides.
Yes.
So are you able to see the slides?
Yes, clearly.
Okay, so good morning. So I'm honored to be invited to speak in the 2022 the International Conference on Industrial and Systems Engineering, Technology, Innovation and Management. So as you can see, the title of my talk will be on the digital acceleration for smart ports in the fourth industrial revolution. So as being mentioned, I am currently the director for the Center of Excellence in Modeling and Simulation for Next Generation Ports, and also the director for the Center for Maritime Studies. So we all know that the pandemic has caused havoc to the world systems and disrupted almost all the aspects of the supply chain. It started with the supply shock due to the border closure, restriction in human interaction, and inability to deliver goods. It shows a weakness in the traditional supply chain models because of the high degree of human interactions. It is then followed by the demand shock due to lockdown affecting businesses and resulting in high unemployment and reducing spending. And at the same time, we are seeing the accelerated growth of digitalized markets. So how does COVID-19 impact on shipping? So essentially, this is where I want to focus on in my time area. So a recent report from UNESCO shows that the pandemic exacerbated the already slowing shipping industry, such as slowdown in ship supply, reduction of dry bulk demand, reduction of tankers demand, reduction of container ship demand, and drive down fuel costs. So today we hear right, that the economy is peaking because a lot of countries are currently relaxing on the border restriction, and so the economy is growing back again. But then we also hear there is a lot of congestion building up at several major ports due to the pandemic. So the global economy activities is also picking up, as what I mentioned earlier, and this will create capacity shortage in the supply chain. So the same report also shows that the short-term impact and potential long-term impact on structural changes on shipping, logistics, and ports. So a few interesting findings for structural changes in digitalization, where there is a greater use of technology and digital tools to use in shipping and develop smart and automated ports. And now more focus on increasing resilience and robustness of business operation to wide-ranging risks over efficiency. So worldwide, we see that there is an acceleration trend towards a digital transformation in the economy. In particular, the trends are businesses switching to digital. So the pandemic has caused the world to go into isolation. So as we have experienced, social distancing is one of the effective methods to slow the spread of the virus. As a result, anything that relies on human interaction will be considered unsafe. So digitalization bridges these gaps left by mandated shutdowns and social distancing measures. So the pandemic has exposed a clear divide on the digitalization, especially those companies which are already using digital tools have performed much better than those which have not. So the pandemic provided a strong impetus for companies to act immediately on using digital tools to sustain their business. By end of this year, the rate of digital technology adoption in maritime and shipping area will accelerate 3 years ahead of what was originally forecasted. So digital, as you can see, will be the key to thriving during the economic recovery and the next normal that will follow. Then second one is a shift towards automation. So the world was already embracing digital technology and automation from the Industry 4.0, but the pandemic has accelerated this shift. So leveraging on automated and digital technology will allow humans to work remotely, and production or operations can continue uninterrupted in the events of crisis. Then we can also see that there's a shift to a hybrid working model, where we observe 3 fundamental business changes brought on by the pandemic: changes in customer behavior, high uncertainty in demand, and a huge spike in working remotely. For example, because of social distancing, customers are now shifting to online markets to do purchasing. These changes have resulted in a rapid migration to digital technologies in all areas and sectors. So the speed of this change is unprecedented. For example, the penetration of e-commerce in the United States, previously forecast to reach 24% by 2024, moved from 17% to 33% in only 2 months. So the pandemic is transforming organization approach towards a flexible working models. So we expect to see an acceleration of alternative work models, and the adoption of digital platforms will shape how people will work in the new normal. So then what features should the next generation pods have? So there is a general consensus that the next generation pods should address 4 areas: green and sustainability in the areas of decarbonization, replacing the fossil fuel with renewable energies and land intensification. Automation, that is, pod should be fully mechanized and automated. Autonomous, using driverless vehicle with situation awareness, and digitalization for building smart and intelligent processes. So for green and sustainability, there is a strong emphasis on decarbonization and green initiative. For example, using alternative fuel like LNG, hydrogen. Also on electrification, such as coal ironing, battery for AGVs, yard and key crane electrification. And also in smart grid management system, energy storage system, using regenerative energy, solar energy, and wind energy. So optimization of pod processes through digital transformation is important, as it can help to minimize bottlenecks and reduce energy wastage and makes the operations more seamless. So in Singapore or countries where land is scarce, land intensification for sustainability is also very important. Innovative pod designs such as the double-story pods are considered. So let me show you one example of an innovative concepts to address land sustainability, where our team has actually developed a double-story structure of a mixed pod, where industry activities are operated at the higher floor, and at the ground level is for the pod activities. So let me show you an animation of that. So you can see that this is a double-story pod where the pod terminal operations are actually conducted below, and the light industries actually operated above. So this will actually help Singapore to actually make use of land more productively. Okay, so this is where Singapore can actually make full use of the land by trying to have a land intensification on the activities. So this particular concept is to propose mixed activities of light industry as well as pod operations. So we know that the industry have undergone different stages of transformation. We see the age of automation starting in the industry 3.0 around 1970. So robots were introduced to initially assist humans, such as replacing work areas requiring repetitive tasks or activities, where robots are able to provide higher precision and consistency in work. One example is the automobile assembly plant. Nowadays, we are also seeing automation applying to higher end manufacturing industries, such as wafer fabrication plants. However, pod automation only started around mid-1990s, and automated containers are gradually picking up around the world. We know a fully automated port currently does not really exist. When people use the phrase automated container ports, it means automated movement at dockyard interchanges. For example, we know that the front end interface between the ship to shore crane, where the vessels is still manual, but the operations can be done remotely. Moreover, lashing and the coning and deconing of containers are highly manual. There are some initiatives to develop a robot for coning and deconing, but there are still barriers and challenges. For one, there are too many different types of cones. If you are very familiar with container shipping operations. Anyway, for automated container terminal, we can see that China is picking up very quickly. So this slide shows the time when each of the automated container terminals around the world is being established or developed. So ECT Delta in Rotterdam is known to be the first automated container port. So some of you may have heard that the latest one is Singapore. So it is currently building a mega port, which is going to be automated and using the latest automation and digital technologies. So all the current port activities located in the central and western part will gradually be reallocated to Tuas, which is situated at the furthest western region of Singapore. So if you can see that in the laser pointer, currently this is where our current port operations is, but eventually all these port activities will be moved on to the western part of Singapore, which this part is actually a reclaimed land. All right, so they're currently reclaiming it. So when completed in 2040, right, it will handle a throughput of 65 million TEUs, which at present is the largest throughput handled by any ports. So automation is becoming a trend in newly built ports, especially in developed countries. Especially for the COVID-19 experience, we can see there are significant benefits for a port being automated, and we expect this list to grow quickly in the future. So in Industry 4.0, we are seeing more port processes are being digitalized, and this is made possible with automation, autonomous, and Internet of Things. Port operations is driven by two major systems: the terminal operating system that controls the internal processes of the port and is the brain of the port system. The other is the port community system, which is a neutral platform that connects multiple systems to allow exchange of information between different organizations in a secure manner. The different organizations could be agents, shipping lines, custom, logistics providers, freight forwarders, other government agencies, terminal operators, port authorities, rail and road operators, and warehouse operator. So the port community systems allows for one-stop shop where information transaction can be performed in a seamless way. That will eventually help to cut down a lot of processing time. With digitalization, it will make both the terminal operating systems and the port community system smarter by optimizing, managing, and automating port and logistic processes. So in Singapore, there is a strong government effort to transform the maritime space under the Sea Transport Industry Transformation Map. The areas to target is on innovation, productivity, job and skills, and internationalization. This is to ensure the Singapore long-term competitiveness, and Singapore has been ranked #1 for 4 consecutive times as a world leading maritime capital. So in particular, if you look at the previous slide, the areas to innovate can be seen to be automation, intelligent system, and digital technologies. So to enable this, Singapore Maritime Institute, which is the research arm for Maritime and Port Authority of Singapore, has identified 5 key areas to develop capabilities in their research and development roadmap 2030. They are the efficient and intelligent world-class next-generation ports, strategic sea, space, and maritime traffic management, smart fleet operations and autonomous vessels, effective maritime safety and security, and sustainable maritime environment and energy. So 4 centers of excellence are established to support these 5 areas, which are the Center of Excellence in Modeling and Simulation for Next-Generation Ports, Center of Excellence in Maritime Safety, Center of Excellence in Maritime Energy and Sustainability Development, and the Center of Excellence for Autonomous and Remotely Operated Vessels. A number of digitalization initiatives are taking place in Singapore. And as digital twin of maritime systems, maritime single window, next generation traffic management systems, just-in-time planning and coordination systems, e-navigation, smart fleet management, and maritime autonomous surface ship technologies, intelligent freight transportation system, and cybersecurity, blockchain. So essentially what I'm trying to put in here is that in Singapore, we have a lot of research activities trying to make the maritime process more autonomous, more automated, and also more digitalized. And so in this talk, I will focus my discussion on digitalization, specifically on the area of digital twin. Industry 4.0 make it possible for the digital transformation. So let me try to introduce to you what is a digital twin. So as you can see, a digital twin is a manifestation of a physical systems. So in order to build a digital twin of the port, we will need to model the actual dynamic behavior of the port and hence the understanding of the port processes and operations strategy. How they interact with each other and the events taking place are necessary. So why a digital twin? So first is a key for digital transformation of many industries. It is getting increasingly popular as it is seen to drive many innovative solutions and to increase performance and profitability. And it also to make the port more resilient. So what are the enablers? So we can see that in the emerging trend of technologies, there are greater connectivity with sensing through the industrial Internet of Things. We can also find that it's getting cheaper and faster computing and storage, allowing for more powerful analysis and operational improvement, and faster communication like the introduction of 5G and high-speed broadband. So besides this, so new automation technology, big data, and the use of artificial intelligence are also important enablers to create digital twin, which can help make the next generation port to be efficient and smart. You can think of the Internet of Things as the eyes, the ears, and the mouth, automation as the hands and legs, big data as a memory, and knowledge and AI and deep learning as the brain. There are different types of digital twin. The most common one is a digital twin using data collected from IoT, sensors, GPS, and this information are displayed in a 2D or 3D dashboard showing the state of the system. There is also a digital twin model that uses physics model, for example, the digital twin of a car engine. So this digital twin will use physics theory to model the car engine. There is also a digital twin model that uses event-based model or agent-based model. For this kind of digital twin, it is used to model the behavior of the large systems where there are many components that interact with one another and cannot be defined by. So you need to capture the logical processes of these components and all the interacting activities that define these logical processes. For the last two digital twins, they have the predictive power as the dynamics and the behavior of the physical systems are captured. More advanced digital twins or hybrid digital twins are when both the online data and the dynamics and behavior of the physical systems are used together. So these are some of the examples of the digital twin using data. So these are just purely data where they track the airplane. I'm sure you can actually get it from the website. So this is one form of a simple digital twin, which actually just monitor where are all the planes flying to, and so it actually tracks on the plane globally. Right? Of course, there's also the other type of digital twin which is used for help to make decisions. Like for example, if you're aware of the DHL 360, which looks at the digital twin for supply chain risk management, they are able to actually, the company are able to actually place where are all their sources, the suppliers, and also the manufacturing plant, and also maybe their retailer, and build a network. And then based on this network that they have built, right? So there'll be news coming in all the time, and there'll be some intelligent crawler to crawl the website to look for major events that happen. So when there's a major events occurring that might disrupt the supply chain, then what they do is that they will alert the company, and then the company will see whether there's any alternative way to overcome this. So it essentially provide you with a real-time alert so that you can actually react on the situation in a high responsive way, right? So whatever it is, right, when developing a digital twin, it has to be purpose-driven. So the level of fidelity also plays an important consideration when building the digital twin to ensure that it is computationally feasible to enable a decision to be made on time. So many people believe that there is only one digital twin for a given physical system. Actually, that is not true, as a digital twin is developed for a purpose, and hence it should be really depend on what you want to study in a physical system. Depending on the purpose, the digital twin can have a different representation from high to low fidelity. The reason is due to computing feasibility. For example, if you want to build a high fidelity digital twin model for medium to long-term planning, then it will take high computing resources to get a solution, or it might not even be able to get an answer in the time needed. So depending on the purpose, we build the digital twin accordingly. Hence, it should not just be a twin, but many twins for the same physical system, and it really depends on what you want to achieve from that study or the purpose of building a digital twin. So what are the features of a digital twin? So we believe that a smart digital twin should consist of 4 dimensions. Visualization. So it's how the digital twin presents the data in a meaningful and insightful way. Dashboard and 2D, 3D visualization will be important to display the results to help decision makers to understand and make informed choices. We can associate a dashboard and a 2D, 3D visualization as a control tower. Then secondly is connectivity. So digital twin might not be a standalone systems. It may need to interface with other systems to communicate, such as receiving data and feedback and providing instruction. So interoperability is very important. Then we have analyzability. The field of analytics and optimization is rapidly evolving, with numerous optimization algorithms being continuously developed. So that is the purpose of digital twin, right? Is to help decision maker to make decision, and so you need to have optimization algorithm embedded in a digital twin to be able to help the decision maker to see that, for example, if there is certain changes in the event, what should they do, and so they should have a algorithm that is able to support this kind of decision making. So current platform usually have simple evaluation tools, so it can be like rule-based model, and the digital twin should allow for simulation analytics and the end user to customize and embed optimization algorithm to take advantage of the latest algorithms. And finally, granularity. So as mentioned earlier, the platform should allow digital twin to be built with different level of fidelity. This allows for the analysis of any level of detail required while balancing with the trade-off of more processing resources required. One of the opportunities in having a digital twin is in the area of simulation analytics. So in the physical world, we are always bounded by space and time, and also the type of data we can use to learn, usually the historical data. But in a digital twin, these boundaries can be relaxed, and we can perform many different types of scenarios, which some of them may not have happened yet. The reason why the digital twin has this predictive capability is that I mentioned earlier that the digital twin built is able to capture the actual behavior of the actual physical system. So if this is possible, then it's able to predict accurately the impact or the output for any scenarios that have not occurred before. So moreover, since we are not bounded by time and space, or by time, right? And we can get answer within a short time, it can run faster than actual time for the event to occur. Then given this capability, we will be able to know the impact of such event much earlier before it really happens, and providing us time to react to this scenario. Usually, when we try to understand the future trend, we usually depends on historical data and human experts. Then we use machine learning tool to learn from the historical data. For example, in this picture here, a simple method could be using a regression method to relate between the output and input, using historical data to determine the pattern. But however, it will not be able to extrapolate or predict accurately if the points lies beyond the boundary of the historical data. And so learning might not be so effective. So it will usually work well within the boundary of the historical data. So that's where the digital twin can help, as it is not only able to learn from historical data, but it has a capability to generate scenarios that have not happened before. So learning only from historical data will not be effective because this method is reactive. And this type of learning has a lag effect. It means we are always chasing after the solution. Whereas with a digital twin solution, it can help to address this because it makes the system anticipative by generating scenarios that have not happened before and evaluate the impacts of this scenario before they happen. So all these likely scenarios together with historical data can be put into the learning model and give a more accurate prediction and hence a better decision. So in summary, the digital twin takes information from the historical data and current data from the IoT and terminal operating system to show the system states and the impact if a certain decision are taken. It can, on the other hand, also generate future optimized data from the scenario generated from the digital twin. From these sources of data, they can go into a learning model to map the optimal decision space with the different scenarios. And this optimal decision space will be the super brain that can provide feedback to the decision makers when the scenario happens, or when the scenario happens. So essentially what we are saying is that we are learning from the future for the future. So as you can see that the reason why we put this statement is because not only do we use data from historical data or from the real-time data, online data, but we can also generate future data. It means that scenarios that have not happened before to predict what will be the impact and determine what will be the optimal solution to deal with this event, and put that all into a learning model, and we'll be able to help to get a better solution. So learning from the future for the future is where we want to build this digital twin. So by using simulation analytics, the digital twin will be able to work hand in hand with the physical systems to help the next generation pods to be efficient and intelligent. So the Center of Excellence in Modeling and Simulation for the Next Generation Pods, or C4NGP in short, has taken up the challenge of developing the pod digital twin. So C4NGP is supported by Singapore Maritime Institute, which I mentioned earlier, a government funding agency which has developed the Singapore Maritime R&D Roadmap 2030 to identify capabilities needed to ensure Singapore's long-term competitiveness in the maritime space. So this slide shows of our projects that we have embarked on. So many of our projects are developing solutions to address the challenges faced in the next generation ports. The projects covering designing and optimization of new layouts of container port in Tuas, finding the right number of battery charging stations and locations, identifying robust transponder locations. And in the operation strategies, we also look at AGV deadlock detection and prevention, AGV battery deployment strategy, and storage yard management strategy. We also look at the maritime ecosystems, which interface with the ports, such as the land transfer of container between the existing port and the future port, like in the Tuas, and the collision avoidance advisory system for the sea channel. So our digital twin also extends to general cargo ports. So all these projects which involve modeling and optimization are developed using our maritime simulation platform. So the maritime simulation platform is an in-house built open source platform called the O2DES in short. So O2DES means the object oriented discrete event simulation. So it is embedded with simulation optimization technology, a research area which we are known to be strong and highly visible within the academic community. So our pod digital twin is built on top of this platform. So for example, our digital twin will be built on this O2DES platform. Besides using the discrete event simulation as the main modeling technique, we have also embedded simulation optimization technologies into the platform. They are optimization in simulation, simulation optimization, and simulation analytics. So each optimization engine has a role to play. Optimization in simulation optimizes on the best operation strategy to use. And simulation optimization helps to identify the best design configuration, and simulation analytics helps to make decisions in real-time operations. So the pod digital twin will sit on top of this platform, and it will be supported by visualizations such as a dashboard and a 2D, 3D model to give insightful information. In addition, we are also creating a pod ML, a universal markup machine language that can specify the configuration of the pod. So with a pod ML, it can help to accelerate the model building of the pod digital twin. Those following examples give us how our O2DES platform can help support the digital twin. So the first, as I mentioned, is optimization in simulation. So essentially what happens is that we can incorporate optimization algorithm or some rule-based or greedy algorithm into the events. So if events occur, what should they do next? And so some algorithm can actually be embedded into the simulation or the digital twin to be able to come up with a decision. So a good example is a digital twin can be used to test out different fleet management systems. For example, if let's say a company wants to evaluate a certain fleet management system, and they do not want to disrupt their physical system, so instead of plugging directly into their physical system, they can actually plug into the digital twin to test out the effectiveness of this new fleet management system before it's implemented into the real physical system. So in simulation and optimization, this is where we talk about design. So in this case, this kind of optimization is where the simulation is put under a big optimization algorithm where they try to search for the best layout design among all other alternatives. So it gives you the example to find the best combination of resources to give the best productivity, such as the one that in the diagram below. You know, for example, you have a layout of the pod that you want to design. And so how will the layout be? How will the traffic system be? How many AGVs should you have? How many yard cranes and key cranes do we need to have in order to support the throughput that you want to actually have this pod to have? So this is where the simulation in optimization comes in. So for example, our digital twin has been used to help evaluate the pod layout in one of the new layout in the TWAS. So this is one of the examples that we have actually done to look into the future layout of the pod and to evaluate what is the productivity or throughput of the pod. So you can see that it's a very large scale system. It's because if you look into the dimension of the pod, right, from this point to the end of this point is about 4 kilometers, and from here to here it could be about 1 kilometer long. So this is a very big system just for one finger, okay, within the TWAS pod. And so if you can imagine this kind of size, right? So the kind of scale, right, is that the number of AGVs or the automated guided vehicles that you need is about 400 over, and the number of key cranes will be close to 80 over or 90 over. So there's so many equipments and that is interacting with one another. And so our digital twin is able to actually model such a large scale complex system to be able to determine what would be the right layout, the right number of resources to use to be able to determine whether this particular layout and the allocation of assets will be able to achieve the throughput that is designed for. For example, so this is what we are trying to say here. And finally, for simulation analytics, which I have shared with you in the earlier slide, this is a new research area which we are embarking on, where our center will now focus on building simulation analytics technology. So with simulation analytics, the digital twin is able to predict and respond to different disruptions. So when a disruption occurs, for example, a vessel accident occurring in the sea channel, or when the power is down affecting some parts of the pod, the digital twin is able to run in fast time, right? Because it can run faster than the actual time to see the impact of this disruption on the pod. Because as I mentioned to you, a digital twin have a predictive power. So it is able to tell you, for example, given the state of the system, if you have a major disruption happening, like for example, a power that is down, or there's an accident somewhere in the sea channel. So you can actually run fast time to determine how this will actually impact on the pod in the future, right? In a medium term or in the short term time. And so from there, you are able to determine if the problem is coming out even before it has actually occurred. And so you are able to quickly make decisions to avoid damages by coming up with some mitigation strategy that can be deployed to recover the operations. Okay, so this is my final slide. This is just to tell you where our center is located. So it's an NUS, and it is located at the 3 research link. So with that, I will end my presentation, and thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Professor Chu Ek-ping, for very valuable presentation, and thank you for your generosity to share your expertise in this research field. We are very blessed to have, we are well informed with the up-to-date high-tech information from your research field. Once again, thank you very much, Professor Chu Ek-ping.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, and please, for the audience, to prepare the questions for Mr. Professor Chu Ek-ping, and I will read the questions on the discussion session after the second presenter present the paper, the materials. Okay, this time now we come to the second presenter. Second presenter, our honorable speaker, Professor Rosemary Arsiva from the Salle University, Philippines. Thank you, Professor Rosemary, for joining and sharing, coming for your willingness and to share again with us in this seminar. Good morning, Professor Rosemary.
Hello, good morning, everybody. Before I begin my talk, I would like to express my gratitude to the organizers of this conference. Also, I would like to thank you on behalf of De La Salle University. Thank you very much to the conference organizer, Dr. David, Ms. Christina, and everyone in the committee. So let me begin my recorded presentation.
Good day, wherever you are in the world. I've been doing research on effective design for a long time. It is my pleasure to share with you this interesting research area, also in the field of ergonomics. The title of my talk is The Hidden Power of Effective Products and Environments. I would like to emphasize the words hidden power, because we are strongly driven by products or environments that elicit intense emotional experience. Sometimes we don't even understand where the experience is coming from, or even the cause of this experience. We take it for granted, but it significantly influences how we think and behave. One very good example of how effective design works is the success of the piano stairs. Probably you all know about it, which now appears in many countries. Who would have thought that people would choose to use stairs if there's an escalator beside it? The usual behavior is to conserve physical energy, but with the piano stairs, people choose a route that may be more difficult but more interesting. Their curiosity and the prospect of having a different experience, probably fun or excitement, drove them to take the stairs. Another interesting example is the trash bin. tagged as the world's deepest trash bin. Can you imagine that? Trash thrown in this trash bin does not seem to reach the bottom because it emits a sound implying that the trash is traveling a long route before reaching the bottom. Users of the trash bin were observed to be listening carefully to that sound and threw trash over and over again to investigate what is happening. This is another example of how curiosity drives people to engage in a certain behavior, which in this case is to throw the trash inside a trash bin. I'm sure that people who have experienced using this bin cannot wait to share this with friends and family. I would have the same experience. And it led to the accumulation of trash inside the bin. Actually, the bin was able to collect 7 kilograms of trash in a day. All these examples are in the website, funtheory.com. Check it out. The website features examples of how fun can be integrated into the design to influence behavior for the better. People engage in behaviors that harm the environment or sometimes themselves. These behaviors are difficult to change, but with the appropriate use of emotion in design, the funtheorywebsite.com was able to illustrate that design can work for this purpose. In this presentation, I would like to discuss the concept of emotion and how experience of pain and pleasure shapes a person's behavior. Emotional experiences are very powerful. Many decisions are made on the basis of emotion, rather than complex rationalizations of the mind. The kind of irrationality that can be harnessed by design. If designers are aware what triggers these strong emotions, then they can make products or set up environments that promote emotion elicitation. Emotion feelings can be activated and influenced by perceptual, appraisal, conceptual, and non-cognitive processes. Effective design is based on existing theories of emotion. Although emotion is a common experience, psychologists cannot seem to agree on its definition. However, for the purpose of understanding the role of emotion in design, let me discuss with you 3 important premises. Emotion have different forms. Some emotions are called basic because they require minimal cognitive processes and trigger rapid and sometimes automatic action, and what we call emotion schema that always involve interactions among emotion feelings and higher order cognition. Second is, emotion feelings can be activated and influenced by what we perceive and our appraisal of the situation. The third is, emotion feelings vary from low to high levels of intensity. For people to engage into action, this feeling should be intense enough. We react to stimuli we receive from the environment, and sometimes our reactions cannot be controlled. Thus, we propose this model of product emotion to illustrate how emotional responses are brought about by an appraisal of the product in terms of novelty, motive compliance, intrinsic pleasantness, legitimacy, and challenge. These appraisal criteria are generated by the concern of the individual for the product. Concern actually is defined as a point of reference in the appraisal process. We judge product according to their compliance to this concern that we have. Desmet referred to studies by Lazarus and Roseman and Smith to justify what he says as specific emotions that are associated with specific types of appraisals. For example, a product that we see as novel will evoke surprise, fun, or amazement. This is probably the reason why we are so amazed by the piano stairs or the deep trash bin. It is something new to us. However, it should reach a certain threshold. It should be novel enough for us to be surprised or amazed. Otherwise, if this is not very new to us, we will not feel these very intense emotions. This particular example shows how the goal of looking attractive matches the product characteristics and evoke imagination that caused feelings of desire. You see how the boots look like. It's so beautiful. The product was described as elegant, probably because the leather material and the sleek shape of the shoes. In this case, positive emotion was generated because the goal was matched by the product characteristics. However, this can also go the other way. If the product does not match the goal, instead of positive emotion, negative emotion will be generated. Products that comply with the goal of the user usually cause strong attachment. It starts with feelings of positive emotion that they would like to relish by using the product as many times as possible. I know a guy actually who refers to his car as his girlfriend. Probably many guys are like that. One female author said she finds happiness in riding her car, although it is old and already have mechanical problems. Makes her proud that there are not many people who has her brand of car. Gives her a feeling of pride. These are the experiences that designers seek to replicate through their products in order to increase consumption. The question is, how do we design a certain product to evoke a target emotion that is strong enough to influence behavior? Effective design is a framework that seeks to elicit specific emotion by manipulating product or service design characteristics. If you go through the literature on effective design, you will probably encounter the most popular effective design method, which is Kansei engineering. It is a methodology for interpreting user feelings and translating them into a product design. There are many companies who have used it already. For example, Honda, Ford, Komatsu, Sharp, Colt, Canon, and Matsushita. Works have introduced Kansei engineering as a product design methodology in their organization. So it's been used in real life. In using Kansei engineering, the main objective is to translate the customer's feelings into product design elements. Kansei, or feeling in Japanese, are obtained from interviews or observations of customers. So they try to ask customers what kind of feeling they want to realize in a certain product. A target Kansei or feeling is then broken down until a final Kansei is reached that can be directly linked to product design elements. This method has been successfully applied, as I've said, in many industries, providing a basis for saying that it works. If we will experiment on product characteristics, it can elicit a certain target emotion. So we can probably use this to develop more products or environments. The piano stairs showed us that emotion can also be designed into the environment. Recent applications of using emotion in design have been in the area of recycling, reusing, waste segregation, product attachment for longevity, and more relevant is COVID protocol compliance. Early applications of effective design aim to increase sales, but now it has found its way in addressing pressing environmental and health problems, such as fighting a pandemic. Let us take the case of sustainability, which is a relevant problem nowadays. The problem with the current sustainability solutions available is the gap between intention and action. From a study done by Mackenzie Moore, those with positive attitudes toward energy conservation are not likely to conserve energy. Recyclers and non-recyclers did not differ in their attitudes toward recycling. It's because the self-interest of people prevailed over their concern for the environment. Let us tackle the recycling problem. Recycling has many phases. The first phase is to set aside materials to be recycled. Then they gather these materials and then actually make use of them in the process of production. Problems arise at all phases. The first problem is the participation rate of people. It has been documented that a little over 25% of waste are recycled in the US. While in the UK, even if recycling awards are offered, only 25% of 7,000 residents surveyed are encouraged. People may not participate, and even if they participate and waste had been collected efficiently, the actual recycling process may not actually happen. There are many authors that say recycling does not work, proposes other methods to minimize waste. One of the proposals to minimize waste is to promote long-term use, which Chapman called emotionally durable design. This runs counter to the concept of planned obsolescence that aims to shorten the life cycle of the product to promote increased consumption. People discard products because of trend or degradation of function. But if there is a way to make the product difficult to discard due to attachment, then waste can be minimized. There are 3 ways to design for emotional durability, but in each case, we play with the emotion of the person. The first one is to develop a product that will elicit a strong emotion that will make the customer cherish it even after the first encounter. The second one is to create a product that continues to have value or probably increase its value over time, just like a painting. This particular car is an example of how the design form caused the user to develop strong emotions for the product or strong attachment. The owner, Ruth, who wrote this book chapter, described it as not user-friendly. But the design of the car made up for the imperfections. She is so proud of owning this car. This second product is a case study in emotionally durable design. A kettle is a product that people will not be usually attached to. So, the makers tried to develop a personality for the kettle to make it unique, and so the users can develop attachment. They called it the sneaky kettle because it rotates on its base 2 days after purchase. Can you imagine yourself having a kettle like that? This feature of the product caused the users to boil more water to observe its behavior. The initial users were not opposed to the idea of products exhibiting certain behaviors. Do you know how much waste we generate and its components? 1/3 of our paper waste is due to packaging that we carelessly discard. This makes paper waste a good candidate for reusing or recycling. Studies found that color, shape, and pattern are features of a product that are found to have an influence on consumers' behavior. As the role of affective design is to incorporate the feelings of consumers into the design elements of the shopping paper bag, the affective design must be integrated into an environmental purpose of recycling. This particular study considered the effect of color, shape, and pattern of the shopping bag to the intention of the user to either throw it away or recycle. These 3 factors were considered because these design features are relevant to the eco bag and commonly considered in effective design studies. These are some of the bags that they used for the experiment. It was found that the respondents viewed the craft shopping paper bags here, the brown one, to have a lower quality, making the absence of color significantly affect the recycling decision of the respondents. They are more likely to trash the craft paper bag because it's not colored. This also says that blue is equally favored in both sexes. Paper bags with pattern are likely to be recycled because it is more pleasurable to look at. However, shape has no significant effect on recycling. This study only shows that people are more willing to keep paper bags that are elegantly designed and are more durable. People's appreciation of the design of the paper bag prompts them to keep and reuse it. So actually, packaging designers and owners of department stores can consider these findings to design paper bags that are likely to be kept and reused rather than to be trashed. Otherwise, if they will just design paper bags that are not likable, then it will just go to our waste bins. Since we are in the topic of bags, we also did another study on the role of affective attributes like color, form, and materials to people's attachments to eco bags. Eco bags drew significant attention from consumers because of their heightened awareness regarding the negative effects of single-use plastic bags. However, despite the underlying good intentions of these consumers, the solution proved to be ineffective since eco bags are not continuously used. There's a tendency to acquire a new one every time a need to shop arises. So in the context of eco bag design, do not know which of the three characteristics, the color, the form, and material, positively influences the strength of consumer product attachment. We thought that probably one of the reasons for low to zero usage of a product is the lack of a strong consumer product connection, which we call consumer product attachment. This is defined as the strength of the emotional relationship between the consumer to a specific good. So in this particular study, it's the eco bag. So in this study, the fundamental design attributes of an eco bag were considered as independent variables, such as the color, form, and material. We conducted a mask experiment in order to hide the true intention of the research. In order to successfully implement the goal, eco bags were given to the participants as an incentive for their participation. The results show that color and material are the significant attributes that influences the strength of consumer product attachment. Form was not found to be significant, considering that the respondents do not mind using any form of the eco bag, as long as it functions. Color was again a significant factor in this study to product attachment. Color is really a very strong influencer of product attachment. But since it is a bag, material affected the decision of the consumer. Because the material affects how they kept the bag and the feeling it evokes when it touches their skin. Some participants appreciated some kind of silky feeling. Those people who did not keep the eco bags are already attached to an existing eco bag, which they always use. The appearance of the eco bag is something that helps them in forming an attachment. So, this is another case of prolonging the useful life of the product by manipulating the characteristics that appeal to the user. Although some people indicate that they have a concern for the environment, their behaviors do not necessarily support that belief. For example, the study of Agost and Vergara, which is very recent, explored the relationship of product impressions to willingness to keep and product attachment. Participants were shown 6 designs of wardrobes that were designed using 6 sustainability design strategies, such as refurbishment, adaptability, durability, personalization, maintenance, and flexibility. The participants were asked about their impressions about the product and their willingness to keep and their product attachment. It was shown that long life impressions are more related to willingness to keep, while aesthetic ones are more closely linked to attachment. Practical and emotional impressions are associated with both behavioral responses. This study only proves the importance of design strategies on consumer response, especially on the willingness of the participant to keep the product. Effective design can also be used to promote pro-social behaviors in the context of sustainability, such as proper waste segregation, which is very relevant today. It's a common problem that people do not segregate. Proper trash segregation is one common solution to manage waste in urban areas. However, there are many barriers for the successful implementation, such as public apathy, lack of awareness regarding its environmental benefits, and the lack of intention to segregate. One possible way to promote waste segregation behavior is providing information through proper use of signage. A signage can include an emotional message to promote certain behaviors. Fear appeals, for example, or persuasive messages that aims to elicit fear are commonly used in advertising in order to divert certain behaviors that are harmful to oneself, such as smoking and unsafe practices. Can we also use this to design, for example, signages that can influence people towards a certain behavior? In this study, we identified the effect of the guilt eliciting message of the poster to the waste segregation behavior of the participants. In this study, however, we only did it online. So we only measured the intention to segregate. We experimented on the type of picture to use. Participants were staff and students of a particular university. We considered the mediating effect of the clarity of the message and the elicited guilt of the poster. Here are some pictures that we use in the experiments. The participants were asked for the likelihood that they will segregate trash when they see the signage on the trash bin. Also asked them about their understanding of the signage and the attitude toward the environment. The results show that the kind of statement, which in this case is the statement of action in the signage, intensify the feeling of guilt with the right choice of the picture. This only shows that posters can be designed effectively using the appropriate emotion. But can we also effectively use affect in designing campaign materials to combat COVID-19? If you scour the internet, you will see different messages in posters to promote hand washing and social distancing protocols. These two posters were designed to remind people to wash hands to prevent the spread of infection. Most research on hand hygiene compliance in community settings show that compliance is really poor. Although there are efforts to improve hand hygiene practice and compliance, it is difficult to achieve sustained behavioral change. One of the most common and affordable interventions used in improving hand hygiene practice and compliance is by the use of visual posters and signage. But how do you make them effective? So in this study, a poster was self-designed and used the human disgust factor to influence hand hygiene practice and compliance. A dirty handprint showing various microbial growth on hands when not washed was used as the main image of the poster. They used this kind of poster showing how germs spread easily in contaminated hands. They hope that the viewers of the poster will become disgusted. If you are wondering why disgust was chosen to be elicited in the poster, there was a previous study where disgust proved to be effective in promoting hand washing by using a video-based intervention. The posters were placed inside the comfort rooms of both male and female, and people washing their hands at the sink were observed using thermal imaging cameras. Results showed that poster intervention had a limited effect on improving the basic and adequate hand hygiene compliance of the general population. The change was not significant, but it is a promising way of promoting the observance of COVID protocols. Maybe disgust is not the right emotion to evoke, or the poster is not disgusting enough. Studies like this can be done in the future to determine the right kind of emotion, or probably the factors that can intensify a certain emotion to change behavior so that people will follow the COVID-19 protocols. Research on effective design started more than 20 years ago, and most applications in the beginning were toward increasing consumption. In the last 10 years, the application of using emotion in design diversified, but I think it is still limited. The method is promising, but its use is still in the infancy stage, even after more than 20 years. I personally want to see the future where effective design is used to solve relevant problems of society and the world as a whole. In order to pave the way for successful integration of emotions in design, there is probably a need to identify which emotions are powerful. We have seen the power of fun, fear, and disgust in shaping people's behaviors, but are there more? In what context can these emotions be used better? There are some emotions that are strongly felt than others, such as fear, altruism, shame, insecurity, and love. There are so many adages on the power of love, but I have not seen this emotion used beyond consumption. It seems that specific emotions can target certain behaviors. Fear or disgust can be used for health interventions, while shame and altruism can be used to promote pro-environmental behavior. A quick internet search will tell you that its use in health promotion or sustainability is still limited. There are some frameworks proposed on how it can be done, but empirical studies to test the robustness of new methods have not been done. As a researcher in this area for quite a while, I would like to propose using this method to address some of the sustainable development goals to make life and the planet better. I can see the immediate applications in SDG 3, 11, and 12. For example, how do we design information campaign to allay vaccine fears? There are many fake news circulating in the internet. How do we counter these fears? By designing posters that can have the opposite effect to the readers. And how about those that are in the vaccine sites already? There are counseling rooms located in vaccination centers to comfort people who are having panic attacks or anxieties due to the whole vaccination process. How can we redesign the vaccination areas to elicit positive emotion, knowing that the whole process is negatively viewed by the population? There are only a few studies done using effective design in healthcare environments, and this is one of them. Apparently, calm is the desired feeling in healthcare environments. This makes a lot of sense because disease causes anxiety. The core design attributes contributed to this feeling in our privacy, colors, child play areas, and green plants. Good design of lighting, seating arrangements, and a low sound level are also important design attributes. I'm not sure if these are being used in vaccination waiting areas to calm people down. Probably that's a good idea. I hope to see more studies that use this method, effective design, to promote sustainable consumption, such as using less energy, minimizing carbon footprint, or just taking care of the environment. Our consumption culture is driving the planet to the edge. We ought to explore how we can use affect or emotion to possibly promote less consumption by making products increase its value over time so that people do not discard them. It may be worth understanding how value can be integrated to products through time. That is challenging. I assume there is a lot of emotion that can be used for that. Strong emotion is an antecedent of attachment. And since we are in the era of artificial intelligence, we can probably explore how people can be at ease with machines and its capabilities. We have talked a lot about Industry 4.0 and the future can cause anxiety to people. So how do we relieve them of these anxieties by design? Can we design technologies that are less daunting and fun or calming to use? I would like to conclude my presentation by saying that emotions are powerful experiences, and they can be used to direct people to certain behaviors. Many researchers have done this before, but the application is still limited. The potential is limited only by our own creativity. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you very much, Professor Siva, for the very interesting presentation. So it's really, I think, uplifting the presentation because in this pandemic situation, when what we hear is what we read in news like depression or something gloomy, but we see the research something that is fun and very uplifting. The effective side of products for the to make a certain behavior. Thank you very much, Professor Siva, once again for the very interesting presentation. And from the CV, your CV, we know that Professor Siva is I think the pioneer in this field. Very grateful to have you here with us. Thank you. We continue now to the discussion session, and I already have some questions with direct message to me, or I also read some questions in the chat room. Okay, I will show, I think, the questions I found in chat room and also direct message from me, direct message to me. Okay, I will share. Let me share the PowerPoint, and this is some questions. Okay, first to Professor Chu Acting, the first question: what system or features enable or will enable INGA port to ensure efficiency in processing, yet prevent trade anomalies such as smuggling and misdeclaration or under-declaration? So features to ensure efficiency in your proposed port research. Please, I think you can directly answer, Professor Chu.
Okay, thank you for the question. Essentially, these are two different questions, but yet they are interdependent, because I believe that for a port to be efficient, right? Sometimes you need to ensure that things are moving very slowly, fast, seamlessly. And when you talk about trade anomalies such as smuggling and under-declaration, right? So these are issues that sometimes will also create bottlenecks in the system, because you have to go through the customs to check, to ensure that there is no such things happening here. So I think all this have to do, and that's where I believe that digitalization can help a lot. For example, nowadays when people are talking about blockchain, right? So blockchain is one of the area where you can actually look into ensuring that that those goods that's flowing through the countries are able to come out. I mean, the goods that are flowing through a country, right? If you use a blockchain technology, you'll be able to ensure whether these goods are actually legal or not legal, right? So these are some of the detection that is coming. So this is where you talk about making things much more smoothly, and this is where big data actually comes in to be able to help to can go through developing AI technology to be able to detect all those anomalies that is here. So that's why when you are able to achieve those kind of security into the system, then it will make the process much more efficient. So it means that once you assume that you have some sort of blockchain technology that is able to detect whether there's these anomalies coming in or whether there's undeclared goods, which will be able to detect using this big data kind of initiative, right, for blockchain technology, then the rest becomes easier to manage. Okay, when it comes to efficiency.
Yeah, thank you, Professor Chu. And then we move to the next question. I think the question we move to Professor Siva. Okay, I share the question. For Professor Siva, a businessman wants to have product features that will evoke impulse buying. What did you discover about the emotional features of a product, especially products for men? For example, shirt or shorts, who may be less impulsive buyers than women. Please, Professor Siva.
Yes, men are really less impulsive because most men are not into shopping, unlike women. This question will differ according to the type of product. And in effective design, we usually consider high involvement product. You know, high involvement products are those that are close to you. For example, your mobile phone. Those products that express your personality. And so it's really not very easy to answer those questions unless you consider one type of product. For example, men would probably be more impulsive in buying cars because they are drawn to cars. So studies on cars would usually consider men. And these are some of the findings from literature. Men are very concerned about, for example, the external features of the car. And for example, they like cars that are shiny. The colors of the car can signify some personalities, and it depends on the type of buyer that you have. For example, some car buyers would like to have a feeling of power. So what kind of color would you design for cars, for car buyers that want to have a feeling of power? Probably black. Or the shape of the car will be boxy, something like that. Hummer, for example, will elicit a feeling of power for the user. So this particular car will suit a particular type of buyer. So it's really about knowing what kind of emotion would a car buyer want. And this had been done in many studies on Kansei engineering in Japan. For example, one of the findings in a research is of Mazda cars. Car buyers would like to hear this sound of speed. So they design the car such that when you step on the accelerator, there is more noise signifying speed, but actually the car is not really very fast. They like that the sound. It gives them a feeling of speed, but actually the car is not really very fast. So that is how marketers in the past used affective design. They want to cater to the senses of the users. I hope I answered your question.
Thank you, Professor Siva. So it depends on what products that give emotion. Yeah, and I think this also give opportunity for future research in the emotional effect of products. Thank you. Okay, we continue to the next question. I share again the question. Question to Professor Chu. The second question: how will this innovation affect supply chain management in Asian economies, especially Indonesia? Okay, Professor Chu, please answer the question.
Okay, I'll try to answer best, is because I'm not sure what is the situation in Indonesia, but the issue about how does it affect supply chain? I mean, with this innovation, right? I think definitely we have to improve the flow of goods in more efficient way. Now, as all of us know, right? I mean, if you talk about supply chain, what's the purpose of supply chain, right? The purpose of supply chain is to ensure that the goods are able to flow smoothly from the origin to the destination to be able to fulfill the customer's expectation. Am I right? So that is one of the objectives of supply chain management. And one of the challenges that supply chain processes often faces, right, in real world environment is uncertainty. If we are able to have a crystal ball, right, that is able to tell you what is going on at any point in time, then the supply chain issues will be solved, right? Things can actually move smoothly and there is no problem at all. But unfortunately, there's always a lot of disruption. May not be a major one, maybe a minor one, exceptions, port congestions that we often hear, right? That is the one that is often causing delays and also created an unexpected event that created inefficient supply chain. So how do you deal with this kind of problem? So the way to do is that using digitalization would be one of the solution to go on. Like for example, one of the big thing about talking about how to make a supply chain more efficient is data. Data sharing is important. Like for example, can a port share with another port, to tell them the schedule of when the ship is going to depart from one port to another port? Can the shipper share information with the port, so that the port and the ocean liner will know what is going on within the whole maritime ecosystems? So once when you have this data available, right, then you can make good use of this data. The track becomes very visible to you, and this is what we always learn in supply chain 101, right? Visibility is very important. I mean, if you have visibility in information, then you can make full use of this to help you to plan your supply chain much more efficiently. So when it comes to Indonesia, depending on what technology that you have, these challenges is not only faced in Indonesia alone, but also in the global maritime, where you talk about data sharing. This is something that is still in discussion, right? Usually, when you talk about when you always hear news about people are able to data share, right? It's always bilateral. It's between one port to the other port, or between a shipping liner with a port, but it's not globally in a sense that nobody can access each other's information. So this is something that have to be worked out on, and ideally, right, if you are able to create such an environment where people are able to share data, of course, not the sensitive data, but data that is used for logistic processes to make it more efficient, then this is one big major step that can help to actually make the supply chain management more efficient. Okay, so hopefully I have answered this question. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Professor Chu. And we move to the next question. I share again the question for Professor Siva. The second question, Professor Siva, with your purpose model, for how long we can change the behavior of the people?
Thank you very much for that question. So the way I understood this question is how long will the design be able to change, just in case it changes, right? For this one, I think it will depend on the type of interaction with the product. So there's what we call casual interaction with the product or the environment. There is also long-term interaction with the product. For example, if you look at the piano stairs, that is what we call casual interaction. So if the particular design triggered the right emotion for the person, then it will easily change the behavior. But if we take, for example, a person who always use the piano stairs every day, it is just the subway station is just beside the house of this person, then there can also be a numbing effect. It becomes, I mean, the novelty of the piano stairs will now will not be felt anymore after some time. So that is very usual with casual interactions. But for products that were designed using affective design for long-term interaction, the tendency is for the person to love this particular product for a long time, just like the example of the car, of that car by Ruth in that book. The car is already old, but then she still loves the car. And this is also the same with our mobile phones. We become very involved with our mobile phones and we don't want to discard it. At least that is my experience, and also our gadgets. So the design process will vary depending on the context of the interaction. what kind of emotion do you want to elicit, and what kind of behavior also do you want to promote? I would say that there are still many researches that can be done in this area to really study how emotion will change the behavior of people. But that is my answer. It will depend on the interaction, type of interaction. I hope I answered the question. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Siva. So we see casual and long-term interactions, and to build long-term interactions, love is needed to love for the product is needed. Okay, thank you, Professor Siva. We continue to the next question to Professor Chu. The third question. Professor Chu, let me ask the question, in your perspective, what are the three most significant factors to build an effective and efficient port integrated system? Thank you. Efficient and effective port integrated system.
Okay, so to answer this question, I think it's a very interesting question. So generally, if you know about port operations, it can be a very complex kind of processes, because it involves trying to interact with the ocean liner, you know, on how to load and unload the containers, which involves stowage, plannings, and things like that. Then secondly, how do you deploy or discharge these containers to the horizontal transport to move to the different yard locations? Again, this will require some sort of fleet management systems. And also in terms of yard storage also, I mean, where would you want to locate this, where do you want to assign these containers to which locations the yard? So all these are very important. So berth allocation, yard allocation, and also transportation assignment are one of those key major decisions that a port needs to make in order to ensure that, you know, the activities in the port run smoothly with little bottleneck if possible. And so when you mention about what are the important criteria, you know, for a port to be able to be integrated, I think the first one is that, as mentioned again, data is important. I mean, if you're able to get the data easily, you know, and usually this data can be found in the terminal operating system. And if you're able to make use of this data fully, you know, to help you make decisions, then it will actually help a lot in terms of trying to make the system more visible and making use of this data that you can actually fit into algorithms to help you to deploy your assets more efficiently. So this is number one, right? Having good data set where you can actually access it easily and fit it into your decision support tool, you know, will be one of the important criteria, you know, to enable integrated port performance. Of course, the second one is ensuring that you have human capital. Like for example, you know, so the skill level of the people has changed, right? Instead of doing hands-on, they are more becoming supervisory, you know, in a sense that they are the one that looks into decision-making, you know, rather than doing the physical hands-on. So you need to have people in that kind of knowledge, you know, to help to do the analytics, the supervisory decision. So education is very important in this area. And the third one, of course, which is also very important, is having what, as mentioned, are you able to come out with, for example, a solution, a digital twin that is able to actually capture, you know, the global behavior of this port, the dynamic behavior. Means a digital twin that is able to capture a large systems of how all these ports interact with one another, so that at the end of the day, the whole purpose of this exercise, right, is that just now in my presentation I mentioned to you, is that it is able to do prediction. So for example, if you are at this point in time and you want to know what happened maybe in 2 hours time, can this digital twin be able to work as like a crystal ball, you know, where you can run this 2 hours time within a few seconds and then see what will be happening. And based on this kind of information, right, to have that, you know, where might be the potential bottleneck 2 hours time. And so you will be able to actually help to try to mitigate these problems before it actually happens. So doing all this way, right, will be actually help to actually make the pod more efficient and able to integrate the whole processes together. So I hope that is how, I hope that it's the answer that you are acceptable with. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you very much, Professor Chu. We move to the next question. Questions to Professor Siva. I share again the question. The third question for Professor Siva, can you suggest an effective design advertisement that will encourage students or young people to take a maritime course to address the negative emotional effect of isolation on a ship? Oh, very interesting question. Okay, Professor Siva, please.
Yes, thank you very much. Yes, thank you very much. That is a very interesting question. But the question wants to focus on advertisement, right? It's like, what will you tell them so that they will be enticed to be on a ship? But the problem is they already thought, or they think that when you become isolated, it's sad. So it is that prospect that is inside their head. So if you want to counter that, you have to understand what will make them counter this isolation. So number one, probably you can show there, but it might be misleading. If you put there something like, it's fun to be in a ship, that is an advertisement but it may not be true. So you can probably make an advertisement, something like that, but it may not be truthful. I think the root cause of the problem is the feelings of isolation while inside the ship. And it's true. They will feel isolated, and being isolated makes them sad. The question is, how will you design the environment so that the feeling of isolation is minimized, probably? So for me, it's not the advertisement. It is really the life inside the ship. The life inside the ship, or probably the environment, is causing negative effect on the people. So how will you now design that environment so that, for example, when I go inside my room, I don't feel isolated? Can you change the color? Actually, in many affective design studies, color makes a lot of difference in changing how people feel. Is the color of the room causing that feeling of isolation? Is the design of the furniture causing that isolation? So you first have to identify what is causing this isolation. I know they are isolated, but if the environment is reinforcing that feeling of isolation, that's really a problem. So you can probably minimize it by design. Choose, for example, more happier colors. I have been saying this in the university. For example, the color of the room in a university, it's usually white or off-white. Why does it have to be like that? Why does it always have to be off-white? Can't you paint it like of different colors? Like, can you paint one side green and then the other side gray? Will that be better for the students? Will that make me interested to come to school? When I look at this, when I view this movie about Google, the workplace is so vibrant. It's like, just by looking at it, I want to be there. So there's so many things to do to make the people feel less isolated in a ship. So I don't think it's about an advertisement. The first thing that you have to do is to improve the environment. Make it more, an environment that generates positive effect. I hope I answered your question. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Siva. Yes, I think environment is very important. I remember I visit Changi Airport, Singapore, and I don't get bored because so many things to see in the airport. Thank you. Okay, we move to the next question for Professor Chu. The fourth question. Professor Chu, the fourth question for you. How much important of big data in the smart shipping port?
Okay, I thought this question was answered already. Is that definitely big data is very important, right? Because currently the way how the maritime operations is being operated is that data are lacking, and so due to this, right, it's usually based on bilateral kind of sharing, and whether the shippers are able to share information with the port. When I say shipper means the ocean liner share information with the port. It's something that is not at a global level, so it's more at a local level. And so definitely big data will be very important. I mean, if there's data sharing, I definitely will help a lot. Big data is usually meant to talk about machine learning and using artificial intelligence to actually help into recognizing certain trends or anomalies, or even help to make a decision. So obviously, big data also is very important. For example, like you want to detect hotspot, you can use AIS data, to be able to look into where all the ships are congregating, and from there you can also determine whether there's potential high carbon footprint that is being released out. So data are important, definitely. I mean, if you want to start off with anything, right, to do efficiency studies or productivity studies, data is definitely a must. It's something that's important, because if there's no data, you come up with any optimization algorithm, you just fit in, garbage in, it be garbage out, right? So having data is definitely one first step, okay, to be able to build this visibility first before you even talk about optimization. So a data infrastructure, a platform where people can actually share information together, right, will be the first step to start off with building what you call a smart system, right? So you need to have all the data available, there. And after that, when the data is available, the next step is for people to actually use this data. How can they use this data to benefit their processes? So it could be developing optimization algorithm, to show that there's value after when the company uses these apps, right? So the whole purpose, right, is to try to build efficiency in it. So definitely, big data is definitely important. Okay.
Okay, Professor Chu. Yes, definitely, big data is a must. Okay, thank you. Okay, next question for Professor Siva. Okay, let me. The fourth question. Thank you, Professor Siva. I think by introducing incentive, we could persuade people to have close interaction to the design. What is your opinion, Professor Siva?
I want to know what kind of incentive, because in effective design, the positive effect is the incentive. They want to, for example, use the product because they feel positively about it. So if we are going, go back, for example, to the piano stairs, yeah, it's difficult to climb a stair, but because the other feeling, the feeling of fun, overwhelms them, then they would rather use the stairs than the escalator, something like that. So the fun in itself is the incentive in effective design.
So need specific definition about what is incentive, what incentive is. Okay, thank you.
Because in design, the effect is the incentive.
Yeah. Okay, thank you. Okay, next question to Professor Chu. I share again the question. The fifth question. Question for Professor Chu. How will blockchain technology be useful in the security and the optimization in the supply chain and maritime landscape? How will cryptocurrency and smart contracts play a role in the system?
Okay, I think that's a
Okay.
a good question. The last question, I'm not sure how I'm going to answer because I'm not in the area of cryptocurrency, but of course there's benefit into it. But for the first question, obviously there's a lot of advantages using blockchain technology, because one of the question about when you want to go and use data, you want to use digital data for legal kind of document, right? The first thing that it must be is that it's trusted, right? So you must have a strong security so that people cannot just simply hack into the system to be able to change the content. And so blockchain technology is definitely one of the possible system to be used to protect the data. And then why is it useful? For example, you talk about bill of lading. Of course, bill of lading is a very important document that is used to validate who's the owner of the cargo, and is a legal document for the cargo to be handled from one point to another point, right? So if we learned that from pandemic during the pandemic, right? I mean, having to handle legal documents to pass over from one to another is not so easy because of social distancing. So this is where the advantages of using digital document as a legal way to move this to move from one party to another party is very advantageous. And so this is one example that I want to share about bill of lading. I mean, people are now looking into ways on whether bill of lading can be electronically done, which I think some of the countries are already adopting it. So this is the example of why blockchain technology is one of the promising technology that can be used for data security. Because once you have data security, right, then things becomes much more trusted and people will be more confident using the platform. Another one is, as I mentioned, data sharing, where you have a platform where people share information and things like that, right? So you may not want to have this information to be openly public to everyone, but maybe to a certain group of people, consortiums, And so this is where blockchain technology can come in, to ensure that there is a protection, that this data can only be accessed by a certain groups of people or consortium. So this is where having this data security becomes important. So as I mentioned, right, all these are very important, to start off with as a foundation for the IT infrastructure, before you can even talk about optimization, where you want to develop efficient algorithm, optimization algorithm to actually optimize the processes, right? So this is always the first step. Now, in terms of cryptocurrency, I'm not expert in this area, but of course, there's a lot of hype. I mean, not hype, some people are using, beginning to accept it. Some countries are beginning to accept it, or even thinking of using cryptocurrency. Of course, when you talk about cryptocurrency, then this is where you are actually doing things more digitally. You don't even have to show pure cash or paper cash or things like that. But then I'm sure a lot of banks are also coming up with other forms of way how actually currency can be transferred from one point to another point digitally as well. So I have no comments on cryptocurrency because this is not my area of expertise. Thank you. Hello, I hope I've answered your questions. I think we lost the facility.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, I'll be.
Oh, okay.
I'm back. Excuse me. Okay, thank you, Professor Chu, for answering the question. So blockchain is very, it's important because it gives security, data security. Thank you, Professor Siva. The question This next question from Professor Siva: are humans rational or irrational in perceiving product design and marketing campaign? A classic example, tobacco's packaging does not matter for most the smokers. Please answer, Professor Siva.
Okay, so the smoking campaign is actually an example of a negative marketing. They are trying to dissuade people from smoking. We might think that people are not rational, but actually they are. The smokers are addicted to smoking. That is what's happening. And so because they are addicted to smoking, they feel comfort when they smoke. So that is the feeling that they want. They want to feel comfort. It's like smoke, the cigarette is embracing them. So that particular desire for comfort is more powerful than the desire for health for people addicted to smoking. And so it's a toss between two kinds of emotion, the emotion of fear and then the emotion of comfort. And because if you are addicted to something, your desire is to want comfort, and this particular emotion is stronger than your emotion of fear. So this is what's happening. So no matter how we design the the packaging, smoke packaging, to negatively influence them, it does not influence them because they are already addicted to it. There is a precondition. So it does not, it's not working. That is my analysis of the situation.
Okay, thank you, Professor Siva. So there is another factor influencing in that to that product. Okay, thank you. Next question. We now the time is 11:19 Indonesian time. We hope we can answer will enough to be answered in this time. Okay, I share again. Okay, questions, next questions. For Professor Chu. And then this one also the blockchain, how we blockchain, sorry. Next question to Professor Chu. Could you please share how the Singapore government policies and strategies implemented to support small and medium enterprises in facing the digital transformation or acceleration that caused not only by the fourth industrial revolution, but also the pandemic? Okay, Singapore government policies and strategies for small, medium enterprise. Please, Professor Chu.
Okay, yeah, that's a very good question. So I think the first thing is that one of the effort that the Singapore government is trying to put in just now, if you saw my slide just now, is to actually transform Singapore maritime space into a more highly advanced system that is able to adopt new innovation into their processes, right? So of course, digital twin is just one of the solutions. There are many other initiatives that government have actually come up with. One of the initiatives that Singapore government wants to do, right, is to actually build up the capability of Singapore's industry. And of course, in Singapore industry, there are many companies that is not only the big companies, but also a lot of small and medium enterprise companies in the maritime space that are also important to the transformation of Singapore's journey to a more innovative, developing more innovative maritime journey into, developing Singapore into a more using innovative methods to do it, right? So government have come up with a lot of initiatives to actually grow this company. For example, they are encouraging, startup companies, to come in, to where they try to match with venture capitals, or the government usually will provide certain what I call seed funding, to help these companies to actually grow in innovation. So that's one way. Second way is that government also provides certain grants, to help companies to develop innovation. For example, there is what I call a co-funding, where company can actually wanted to improve upon their processes, or want to digitalize their processes, and they feel that this is a quite innovative way to do it. So they can do a proposal to the government, where the government can actually co-fund, their project. It means that government might pay X percentage of the research and development, and the company will put in some funding as well. So there is a big effort by the government to actually grow these small companies. Hopefully that they can actually be the leaders, eventually in coming up with this digital transformation kind of applications to the maritime space. So they are actively pursuing that, and so there is no lacking in terms of how the government is doing that. So generally, government have to come in, right, to help out, especially in the small, medium enterprise, because by themselves, they will not be able to compete with the larger players, because they don't have enough capital, and they are always struggling, day-to-day kind of problem. And another area where the government also help is through research institute, centers like ourselves, which is the Center for Next Generation, Center for Simulation and Modeling in Next Generation Ports, right? So the government also give us a lot of funding, and this funding is actually help to develop digital kind of solutions, to help companies to co-develop their technology. So essentially, they can actually approach our center, to come up with a problem statement. And then from a problem statement, if this is something that's interest and aligned with the government direction, then we could actually work towards co-developing these solutions. So there is a lot of options, which the government have actually created, so that will help these small and medium enterprise companies to actually develop these capabilities. Correct. So that's number one. Number two is that in order for Singapore to prepare itself for this next leap, where they talk about digitalization or transforming Singapore into a more innovative and using digitalization technology, capability development is also very important. So do we have enough skilled people to be able to work to adopt this kind of technology? So education, the capability development is very important. And so this is where, you have education being developed, to be able to train people for the next generation workforce. So these are also part of the overall initiative that is being done as well. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Professor Chu, last question for you before we move to the last question for Professor Siva. One last question. Please explain in short because of time. Professor Chu, can you explain more to us about the main criteria to apply the digital twin technology? Can this technology concept applied or visible in any other ports? For example, in Jakarta, we have Tanjung Priok Port as the largest and busiest one in Indonesia.
Okay, yep, that's a very good question. So essentially, as I hope that from my presentation earlier, right, the kind of O2 desk platform that we have developed, right, can actually go beyond just port and go into supply chain. So it's actually a generic discrete event simulator. But then what makes it different is that we build modules on top of this O2 desk. For example, if you want to talk about developing a port digital twin, then we'll build the relevant modules in the port modules, like for example, the yard crane, the key crane, the traffic system, and the storage block, all on top of this platform, right? So answering your question about can a digital twin be applied to ports like Indonesia? Certainly, it can be done. I think one of the most important thing that needs to be developed is we need to understand, for example, let's say in Tanjung Priok terminal, right? What are the processes involved in these port operations? Is it a transshipment port or is it a gateway port? You know, what are the how are the subsystems? You know, like for example, the key crane, the yard crane interact with one another, and how is the transportation system being deployed, right? So we need to understand first about the processes in how the management runs this port, right? We need to capture these logical processes. So once when we have this knowledge, right, then we can build the modules, you know, that is able to behave like what this port is operating on. And that is why we call it a digital twin, right? And so of course, secondly, then the second part is, are we able to extract data, you know, from the port? You know, for example, is the data readily available that can actually connect to the digital twin? So this is another issues that we have to solve, right? Because not many ports, right, they may have a digital, they may have data that is available that we can extract from. Then the third one that is even more important is that at the end of the day, when you build a digital twin, what is the purpose of it? Are you trying to design a new port? Or is it a brownfield port where you want to see how you can actually replace the equipment to see whether you can improve the port? Or do you want to look into the operation strategy? You know, like for example, coming out with new operation strategy, whether you are able to improve the port better, or even the third one, right, is to communicate with the terminal operating system so that you can draw the online data to help you to do the daily optimization, right? So depending on what you are trying to study or what is your goal, right, then you can build the digital twin according to different fidelity level. And as I mentioned to you, the reason why fidelity is very important is because if you want to, let's say, talk about planning or designing a port, you don't want to build a very detailed model, exact model for that, is because then when you want to try to look at alternative, right, you won't have enough computational time to solve it. It means it takes the tool to run to get a solution, right? So it's not feasible. So the level of fidelity also comes to play depending on the type of problems that you want to solve in the port, right? So hopefully I've given you the answer. Ken, thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Professor Chu. And we move to the last questions for Professor Siva. Based on your research, how was effective design being integrated in the designs of information systems? Was it just more on the user interface?
Yeah, the answer to that is yes, more on the interface, because that is what the user sees, and that is how the user interacts. And so in the interface design, that is more likely to, introduce a positive effect to the users. But the more interesting part is, if you did not design your information system well, there is very high probability of negative effect. Because in information design, the users expect that you have understood their needs. So if you design the information system, with errors, for example, that is where negative effect from the users come out. Like they will feel frustrated, disgusted, something like that. But for positive effect, it's always in the presentation of the information. I hope I answered your question.
Okay, thank you very much, Professor Siva and also Professor Chu. We come to already to the end of this session, and this one is very interesting. My apology if there are some questions that I couldn't read because of my internet connection, and it makes all the chat in the chat room disappear. Excuse me. Okay, thank you very much once again for very insightful and very advanced presentation and research field that shared by Professor Chu and also Professor Siva. We are very blessed and very grateful for this rare opportunity. Okay, we give big applause to the two presenters. And okay, just a moment. Okay, I think I will return the session back to our Master of Ceremony, Ms. Santi, and also for the all participants. Thank you for joining in this session. We hope you have learned and enjoyed this session. We hope you also enjoy the remainder of ICISETIM online conference. And don't forget, we still have Day 2 keynote speaker, Ms. Dr. Petra. Thank you. The time back to Ms. Santi. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much once again, Dr. Indah Victoria Sandroto as the moderators, and also the keynote speaker, Professor Chu Ek Peng, and from National University of Singapore, and Professor Rosemary Arsiva from the Salle University of Philippines. We do learn a lot from the topic and also discussions, and we feel that was a very vibrant atmosphere that we feel in the scientific forum. So really glad to have both of you as the keynote speaker on the first day of the ICISETIM 2022. Okay, so as the recognitions and also the appreciations from the ICISETIM 2022 the committee, so we would like to give a token of appreciations to our keynote speakers and also moderators. So in this occasion, please welcome Ms. Christina as the head of Bachelor program in Industrial Engineering, Maranatha Christian University, to give a token of appreciation first to Professor Chu Ek Peng from the National University of Singapore as the first keynote speaker. Please welcome Ms. Christina.
Yeah, thank you, Ms. Santi. And thank you so much for Professor Chu Ek Peng for delivering such a fabulous material this afternoon. Yeah, and thank you also for the knowledge sharing that you have given to us in this moment and in this international conference. So hope to see you again in our next event and maybe in our next international conference. So I hope you can contribute later. Thank you so much, Mr. Professor Chu.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, so once again, thank you so much for Professor Chu Ek Peng for sharing your expertise and also knowledge to all of us today. Okay, and then for the second, we would like again to invite Ms. Christina as the head of program of the Bachelor program in Industrial Engineering, Maranatha Christian University, to give a token of appreciations to Professor Rosemary Arsiva from De La Salle University of Philippines as the keynote speakers in the first day of the ICISETIM 2022. Please welcome Ms. Christina and Prof. Seva.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Santi. Thank you so much, Professor Rosemary Arsiva, for delivering such a very beautiful material and also the knowledge sharing. And we hope that we can also have another collaboration with you and also with your university in the next event. Thank you so much, Ms. Eva.
Thank you to you and to all the organizers.
Okay, thank you, Professor Rosemary Arsiva and also Ms. Christina. Thank you so much. And of course, we will continue to the next appreciation moment. So we would like to welcome Mr. David Triliputra as the conference chair of the ICISETIM 2022 to give a token of appreciations to Dr. Indah Victoria Sandroto, STMT, from Universitas Kristen Maranatha as the moderators of the plenary keynote speaker session of ICISETIM Day 1. Please welcome Mr. David. Hello, Mr. David. Can you hear my voice? Okay. Okay, please welcome back. Okay.
Okay, thank you, Miss Santi. Sorry for my internet connection.
Okay.
Okay, thank you for Dr. Indah Victoria Sandroto for your contribution in this international conference as the moderator of the seminar. We really appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Dr. Indah Victoria and also Mr. David Triliputra. Okay, so we should continue our agenda. So next, allow me to read some important informations related to the post-conference or the publications. The informations for the ICISETIM publication opportunity is stated on the website of the ICISETIM.com, so you can always refer to that conference website. So please kindly pay attention to the timeline and also the process that author must do in order to complete the post-conference process and get the international journal recommendation. So at last, if you wish to proceed to the next step, at last on day plus 14 or 2 weeks after this conference finish, so it can be seen in your screen also. It will be on May 7, yeah, it will be on May 7. So this is the final deadline for you if you wish to continue to the international journal recommendations, because there will be a second round of scientific review process, yeah, only for the author who want to proceed to the publication process. So you should send or upload your full paper. Of course, this is with the notes, so please pay attention with this after revisions. Okay, after revisions, because perhaps you want to include today's feedback during the presentations coming from the session chairs or the audience. And then also you can send your final full paper, yeah, your final full paper at your Scholar Vein account, yeah, or you can simply just email to info@icisetim.com. And please bear in mind that the main output of the ICISETIM is the conference paper proceeding that will be available in the link of later on, can be seen in the screen. So there will be 2 conference paper proceeding for the engineerings and also for the managements. And after the conference finish, the DOI will be active soon, and that after that it will be automatically indexed in a Google Scholars, then later on to be submitted to the OAG for indexations. So please kindly check at the conference website and also the Research Synergy Press website to get the updated access. So once again, if you wish to continue to the second round of the publication or the additional publication, which is the international journal, author must or required to revise approximately 80% of your submitted conference paper to avoid self-plagiarism, because the full paper or the extended one will undergo the second round of scientific review process to determine your journal recommendation for publications. And of course, all accepted papers, the extended one, have opportunity to be published in a reputable international journal indexed by Scopus, the OAG, Copernicus, Google Scholars, or any other reputable indexer, of course, with the terms and condition apply selected by the scientific editorial and also the reviewer committee. So this is the dashboard of the Scholar Vein, of your Scholar Vein account. So you should upload your extended one, yeah, not the same conference paper that already published in a proceeding, if you wish to proceed to the international journal recommendation given. Okay, so we would moving on to the online presentation session. Actually, today we will have one session for the presentations that consists of 2 breakout rooms. Later on, after this, we will activate the breakout room, and then you can select whether you want to join or participate in the breakout room 1 or breakout room 2. So you can find this icon, the breakout room icon with the 4 squares in your Zoom meeting controls, usually below your screen. You can just choose it, but right now not yet activated. After this, oh yeah, it's already activated. Okay, so please kindly choose that. But before that, let me inform you several informations. So for breakout room 1, it will contain track technology and innovation management and also knowledge management. And the session chairs will be Dr. Miriam F. Bongo from De La Salle University, Philippines, and Dr. Ang Siu from University Petra, Malaysia. And then for the breakout room 2, there will be presentations from entrepreneurships, sustainability studies, and supply chain management track. And the session chairs are Professor Dr. Daniel Marco Stefan Kleber from Modul University Dubai, United Arab Emirates, and Dr. Rita Ediloy from Asian Institute of Maritime Studies, Philippines. So please, we would like again to inform all the presenters to kindly check their schedule. Ensure you are not entering the wrong breakout room, okay? So please check the schedule, whether you are in a breakout room 1 or breakout room 2. For the audience or the attendee, feel free to join any breakout room whether you want to join breakout room 1 or 2. It depends on you. You just simply select the breakout room or the topic that you are feeling that you want to hear the presentations from the presenters. And then do not forget, once again, to fill the feedback form as can be seen in the screen. And also the committee will type it repeatedly later on in the online presentation session, also in the Zoom chat box, yeah, for the feedback, because your feedback is really matter to us. And this is also as a proof that you are being actively involved in the conference to be given the international conference e-certificates. So once again, please be remembered that at 3:35 p.m., okay, 3:35 p.m., we will have closing ceremony. So we encourage all the participants to stay until the closing ceremony, because there will be an announcement for the best presentation category and also for the acknowledgement for the session chairs. So we would like to require all the session chairs for today's session chairs also to be stay until the closing ceremony for awarding sessions later on at the closing ceremony. So once again, please ensure all the participants stay until the end of today's conference sessions. And now we will have break until 1 p.m. Indonesia time. So please check your time zones. Maybe for the Philippines, Manila, Singapore, Taiwan, we will have break until 2 p.m. Yeah. So once again, thank you so much for your kind attention, and see you again around 1:15 ahead at 1 p.m. Indonesia time or 2 p.m. in Malaysia, Philippines, Taiwan, and Singapore time in the same room and link of the ICISETIM 2022. So you don't have to log out this Zoom, yeah? So you just simply select the breakout room, whether you want to choose the breakout room 1 or room 2. Okay, once again, on behalf of the ICISETIM 2022 organizing committee, thank you so much, and see you soon at 1 p.m. for the online presentation sessions and 3:35 p.m. Indonesia time for the closing ceremony. So thank you so much for attending this opening ceremony at day 1, and see you in the online presentation session and of course the closing ceremony of a day 1 of ICISETIM 2022. And have a good break, and then see you soon again. Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Miss Santi.
Thank you. will continue. Okay, the recording and also the live Facebook, yeah. Let us set up the Facebook Live first for our closing ceremony of the day one. Okay, now we already streaming live on the Facebook. Okay. Okay, so once again, as we have already informed at the opening ceremony this morning, so by the end of today's conference, we will announce two categories, yeah, for the awarding session at the closing ceremony. So the first day is the best presentations award and also the recognitions for the session chairs today. Okay, now we are closing ceremony. So the first day is the best. Okay, so once again, I hope that all of the participants, the presenters, the session chairs, and also, of course, the audience or the attendee, yeah, of the ICISETIM having a good moments in the first day of the ICISETIM. And now we will straightforward to the announcement or the awarding sessions of the first category. The first category is for the Best Presentations Award. Okay, so the session chairs today, breakout room 1, in breakout room 1, and also in breakout room 2, had selected the best presentations based on several criteria in the assessment forms. So once again, thank you to all the presenters that already gave his or her best effort in delivering the research through the presentations. And in today, the first day of the ICISETIM 2022, there are two best presentations for today's conference. And on this occasion, we would like to give a special token of appreciations and also the recognitions to the best presentations. So we would like to welcome Dr. Miriam F. Bongo from the Salle University of Philippines to give away the e-certificate as the token of appreciations and also the recognitions to our best presenters today. So there are two best presenters. Okay, Dr. Miriam. Okay.
Hi, good afternoon, Santi. Good afternoon, everyone. All right, so let me now present to you our best papers for today's
best
session.
presentation.
Best presentation.
Okay,
all right. All right, this is for breakout room 1. I'd like to award the certificate of best presentation to Ezekiel and Dicho Bernardo of De La Salle University for the manuscript entitled Explanatory Modeling of Factors Influencing Senior Citizen Telehealth Adoption in the COVID-19 Pandemic. This is presented at the International Conference on Industrial and Systems Engineering, Technology, Innovation, and Management, given this April 22nd, 2002, signed by the conference chair, David Tri-Liputra. Congratulations, Ezekiel. All right, and for the second breakout room, the certificate of best presentation is awarded to Sheila May Rosales Dalisay from Occidental Mindoro State College for the manuscript entitled Worker-Machine Relationship-Based Strategy for Sustainable Management in a Machine Shop. This is presented at the International Conference of Industrial and Systems Engineering, Technology, Innovation, and Management, given this April 22nd, 2022, and signed by the conference chair, David Tri-Liputra. Congratulations, Sheila. Both are from the Philippines. Congrats.
Okay.
Now give the floor back to Santi.
Okay, thank you so much, Dr. Miriam. And once
You're
again,
welcome.
Congratulations to the best presenters. Yeah. So coming from Philippines, yeah, both of them, yeah. But this is based on the assessment, yeah, of the session chair. So it is also objective also. Okay, so let us continue. Let us continue to our second award category. is for the session chair. And on behalf of the organizing committee, we would like to appreciate and also thank to all the session chairs today, because with his also her contributions during the presentation sessions, this scientific forum of ICISETIM 2022, the feedback, the discussions, and also the knowledge sharing environment, which is very important in the conference, has been built to encourage the participations from all the participants. So in this occasion, we would like to welcome Mr. David Triliputra as the conference chair of ICISETIM 2022 to give away the e-certificate and also the token of appreciations to our session chair today. Please welcome Mr. David.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Santi. Okay, the first certificate of appreciation will be given to Dr. Miriam F. Bongo. Thank you, Dr. Miriam F. Bongo, for your contribution in this conference as session chair. We really appreciate it.
Thank you, David. Thank you. It's my honor to be a part of this conference. Thank you very much.
Okay, you're welcome, Doctor. Okay, and next, the certificate of appreciation will be given to Dr. Ng Siu Im. Thank you, Dr. Ng Siu Im, for your contribution in this conference. Also, as session chair, we really appreciate it. Okay, and next, the certificate of appreciation will be given to Professor Dr. Daniel Marco Stefan Kleber for your contribution as session chair in this conference, day one. Thank you, Professor Daniel. We really appreciate it. And next, the certificate of appreciation will be given to Dr. Rita E. Deloy, also for your contribution as session chair today in this conference. Thank you, Dr. Rita. We really appreciate it.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. David Triliputra as the conference chair of the ICISETIM 2022, and also for all the session chair that already involved in the first day of the ICISETIM 2022. So ladies and gentlemen, distinguished participants and attendees of ICISETIM, moving on to our last agenda in the first day of the ICISETIM 2022. And in this occasion, we would like to invite Ms. Christina as the head of Bachelor Program in Industrial Engineering, Maranatha Christian University, to deliver the closing speech of the first day of ICISETIM. Please welcome Ms. Christina.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Santi. I know this is maybe a very tiring day, but I know that actually it is also a fruitful day for us. And it is a great honor for me to close the first day of International Conference on Industrial and System Engineering, Technology, Innovation, and Management, or we can call it ICISETIM, ICISETIM, organized by the Bachelor Program in Industrial Engineering, Universitas Kristen Maranatha, Indonesia, and Research Synergy Foundation, or RSF, and co-hosted by Chung Christian University, Taiwan, the Salle University, Philippines, and Universitas Kristen Petra, Indonesia. I also would like to thank to the keynote speakers today, Professor Chiu Ek Peng from National University of Singapore, and Professor Rosemary Arceva from the Salle University, Philippines, that delivered the amazing materials and shared their thoughts. I also would like to thank all of the moderators, session chairs, presenters, and participants who have joined this conference from all over the world and gave their best performance. And I hope that the knowledge and thoughts sharing today, new networks and new friendship would be fruitful to all of us. Please do not forget that tomorrow we still have the second day conference. I would like to encourage all of you to participate again tomorrow because we also still have fabulous agenda on the last day of the conference. Thank you very much for your attention. See you tomorrow.
Okay, thank you so much, Miss Christina. And yes, correct, we are still having tomorrow. Okay, so once again, on behalf of the host or organizing committee, Universitas Kristen Maranatha or Maranatha Christian University in partnership with Research Synergy Foundation, co-hosted by Chung Yuan Christian University Taiwan, De La Salle University Philippines, and Universitas Kristen Petra Indonesia, supported by Scholar Vein Research Synergy Institute, Review Track, Research Synergy Press, F1000 Research, and also Taylor and Francis groups. So thank you once again to all the distinguished participants for taking the time to join us in the International Conference on Industrial and System Engineering, Technology, Innovation, and Management 2022, the first day, and it has been our pleasure to host this online event. So we would like again to remind for the feedback forms. We do apologize if there are some misinformations for the feedback forms. Okay, so maybe before that, regarding the post-conference informations, yeah, why this is repetitions to remind to give the information, because this is important for all the presenters or all the authors, yeah, of the ICISETIM. Okay, do not forget once again to kindly send your revised or your extended full paper, yeah. Remember, yeah, the extended one, which already revised around at least 80% of your submitted conference paper that already published in a paper proceeding to avoid the self-plagiarism. If you wish to proceed to be given the international journal recommendations. So please kindly pay attention to this timeline. This is a very crucial one. Okay, so at last on May 7, yeah, or day plus 7, please kindly send your extended paper. Okay, so once again, do not forget this timeline. This is very important. And you can send your extended full paper at the Scholar Vein account under the menu of the upload. Yeah, you can click re-upload, or simply you can email to the info@icisetim.com. Okay, and then once again, this is the proceeding papers that will be published, okay, under the business management and also social science series, and also for the engineering and technology series. And this conference program later on will be submitted to the DOAG indexer in the very near time. So please kindly stay updated with us in the conference website, icisetim.com, or the website of the researchsynergypress.com. Okay, so once again, thank you so much, and do not forget to fill the feedback form. Once again, the feedback form can be seen, yeah, the ICISETIM stripped feedback form. This is the correct one, so we do apologize if there are some misinformation before. So this is the correct feedback forms, yeah. Once again, please kindly fill the feedback form so we know how to improve in the next scientific forum. Okay, so once again, it has been our pleasure to host this online event, and see you again tomorrow. See you again tomorrow in the ICISETIM 2022, day 2. And now, please take a good rest, stay healthy, and also safe. And see you again tomorrow at 8 a.m. in the morning. Okay, still in the same Zoom link. Okay, see you soon, and thank you so much. Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
See you tomorrow.
Thank you.
Hi, Christina.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everyone.
Hi, David.
Yeah.
Bye.
See you tomorrow.
Congratulations. Very good day one.
Okay, thank you so much for the
Okay, thank you.
appreciation.
We are glad to hear it.
Thank you.
Christina, I sent you
in your messenger my email.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Okay.
We'll just contact you. As soon
Yes,
as possible.
okay.
Yeah, okay. Thank you,
Bye.
Mr. Rommel.
Bye.
Stay safe and healthy. Bye-bye. Maraming salamat po.
Stay as beautiful always.